This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
And welcome aboard on a beautiful Tuesday. Hope you all are doing well out there. Hope you all are hanging in there on a Tuesday. Tons of stuff to talk about. We got a couple of guests also for you on the show. We'll be taking, I guess today will be a day where we will be taking a lot of your questions and going back and forth. Not a lot of guests today. Joe Shad will be joining us at 12:15. So Dr. Francisco Cedral will join us at 1 o'clock. So we've don't have a ton of guests today here on the program. So we'll have a lot of opportunities to talk and go back and forth and talk about I guess the mess that has been created in the NFL now. And it's funny. Steve M, who's a big supporter of the show, and I guess he's kind of a Tua hater, I would say, something like that. Wait a minute, what is this? Kansas, Hollywood, Florida, December 10th, 2022, will be performing at Arts Park at Young Circle along with Lou Graham. Pre-sale tickets for Kansas premium seats and merchandise packages are available to you now using promo code KansasBand. Find out more. I will definitely try to be at that concert December 10th. A little Kansas, a little Lou Graham, Midnight Blue. Yeah. I like it. I like it. Lou doesn't sound like he used to. What a voice. God. Lou Graham from Foreigner that's one of the more underrated voices of all time in rock and roll history. Lou Graham. Distinctive too, but I just saw that, so that is very cool. Let me give the boys a little retweet, of course. There we go. I like it. That's gonna be fun. I always listen. Anytime Kansas comes to town, I get a chance to go see Kansas. I'm gonna see it. But anyway, I got the whole Twitter deck in front of me, so when I see something that pops up, it catches my eye. See, I have a concert file. And so, yeah, I have the sports and I have Dolphins feed and a news feed and an NFL feed and all those kind of things. But there's one that's dedicated just to music. It's a concert file. So if something like that breaks, just I end up just chiming in and changing the subject right there and then. But anyway, so yesterday, the mess that we saw with the NFL, the NFL has let me explain something, okay? If you're constantly lying to people, right? You then have to remember the lies that you told them, and that's the only way your story is going to ever stay straight the next time you see them. So if you're telling your mom one thing and you're telling your daughter something else, and then you want your daughter not, you don't want the mom to find out. So you got to make sure you tell the daughter this so they don't find out, right? It becomes a whole convoluted type of thing, doesn't it? Right. And that's usually what happens when you lie, you muddy the water. And for the liar, it becomes a position where you now are constantly trying to put holes in the dike because another one is it's like Herschel Walker, right? You know, it's like, yeah, no, I'm against abortion, but wait a minute. You had one with me, and you had one with me, and you had one with me, and you had one with me, you know, that kind of stuff, right? And you see Herschel Walker now trying to plug all the holes there, you know, and he can't do it because you keep lying, and you know. So the NFL is full of liars. And so now you get caught in all of this. So you slam Tua, but then when they slam Brady, you call it, but you don't call it for Tua. You know, and so now the inconsistencies are going all over the place. Teddy Bridgewater taken out for a game where he never showed any kind of concussion effects whatsoever, so it screws the Dolphins. You know, but you leave Cameron Braden, who clearly gets knocked out. That's because you're a liar. You know, and then what happens with liars? You then breed inconsistency and misinformation. And so, you know, you guys saw it too. Yesterday, the WSVN posted that video of Teddy Bridgewater. Let me pull it up for you. Okay. The video of Teddy Bridgewater, right? And so I'll pull it up for you here. Let me make sure we got it up here. Okay, good. All right, now, so we look at the video now, right? Let me enlarge it now. Okay, so we're gonna enlarge it now. So he goes down. He gets up like any of us when we go down in a basketball court or anything like that. We get up. No concussion, no wooziness, no lack of balance. He tells guys, yeah, I'm straight. I'm straight. Ask again, thumbs up, you know, all of that. Nothing. So the Dolphins end up getting screwed from all of this. And so, you know, this is inconsistent. And then you know what happens, right? Like you've got people that push a lie nowadays and they keep pushing a lie, and you sucker enough people into believing a lie. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is. You got plenty of people, millions that are suckered into believing a lie. So now the NFL wants to lie to you and make you believe that, you know, oh no, there was concussion effects there. No, there wasn't. So you screwed the Dolphins. You took away their backup quarterback for the rest of that game, and you put them at a disadvantage by putting in a rookie. How does that help Miami? How does that help the game? How does that help a player reach records, incentives? So you're going to now cost NFL teams and players games, playoff positions, playoff opportunities, incentives, records, and wins. So now, and gambling. So you're tying yourself to gambling, and now you just took the Dolphins out of that game in a game where they could maybe even win it with Teddy Bridgewater. This is not the way you do things. Yesterday with Chris Jones, I mean, that was ridiculous. There was nothing about that play that was a bad play in football. And you ended up you ended up turning over the ball. That changed the game right there. Yeah, Josh McDaniels is an idiot for going for 2 points. You're on the road, go for the tie, dude. Keep playing the game. You don't, that's his fault. That one I'm not a fan of that call. That was a bad call. But the Chris Jones ones was disgusting. It's football, man. It's football. Enough already. Get off your soapboxes. Get off your little doctor this, and I know this doctor, and I'm going to bring on this doctor, and I'm related to that doctor, and it says football is bad. No shit, asshole. So's auto racing. Why don't you go swim with sharks? That's not easy either. Go walk, go climb Kilimanjaro. Go climb any freaking mountain that's monstrous. Watch that you're going to have a hard time breathing. Watch that as you go up there, you're going to run into people that were already dead. People do things that are dangerous all the damn time. The wussification of this entire world, that's the problem. That's the problem with our kids. That's the problem with our society. This is why we hand out money. God damn it, go to work. Earn your damn money. This is a soft-ass society, top to bottom. And we got people coming on television acting like this is, oh my God, how do they let them play football? What the hell are you talking about, man? Yeah, they get concussed. So what? It's part of the game. You don't like it? Don't watch it. I don't need you pussies watching it. And I don't need you pussies controlling it. Wrestlers entertain you every week, putting their bodies on the line. Do you think a lot of those wrestlers walk away normal? No, most of them don't. Most of them will have injuries and ailments for the rest of their lives, but that's the price they chose. That's what they chose to do. This is what happens. You don't get to come out of this unscathed. Sorry, you want to be a Bronco Buster? You're not going to come out of this unscathed. Enough with this wussification of our entire society, dude. You can't have it both ways. You can't play an animalistic sport and do it in a way where we bubble wrap everybody. You freaking idiots. Stop ruining the game I love. These men know exactly what they signed up for. And these guys, if they want to go back onto the field and they passed a concussion protocol, or they can count the fingers and it's not affecting them, that's their choice, not yours. So I don't care about your stupid ass physician. I don't care about the neurologist that comes on. They can all kiss my ass. I'm tired of people trying to control other people's lives. Okay? Meanwhile, we got people that want to tell you to wear a mask and then tell you not to play football. Well, if you choose not to wear a mask, that's your choice. But you should have that choice. Now, whether it's a good one or not, that's your choice. How many of you are going to swallow flames? None of us. Are you going to swallow a sword? Because I won't do that. I've seen those guys that swallow the swords all the way down. You going to do that? I'm not. But that person chooses to do it. That's just the way it is. People do dangerous things all the damn time. It's their choice. And part of this game, it's brutal. You can't have it both ways, dude. You can't have it both ways. And what you saw last night, what you saw with the Dolphins, what you saw all weekend long, it's just stupid. And then when you feed the lies, like we do in this world, that we feed the lies to people, we got millions of people believing lies, okay? Steve M says to me this morning, well, thanks to your guy Tua, he's ruined the NFL. So it's Tua's fault that the NFL is irresponsible. They lie. They have terrible concussion protocols. And because they get exposed, it's Tua's fault. And this is what happens when you lie, when you misrepresent, when you deceive people. This is what happens. You have people like Steve M who then believe that it's Tua's fault that the NFL are full of liars and that our society is full of pussies. That's it, man. Listen, you don't like the concussions? Don't watch the game. Get out of here. I don't need you. That's all. You don't like it? Too bad. There are going to be broken legs. There's going to be concussions. There's going to be head trauma. There's going to be all kinds of stuff going on. It's football. You want to watch auto racing? There's going to be car crashes. There's going to be death. There's going to be destruction. There's going to be risk. That's just the way it goes. You can't, you can try to make it as safe as you want. The risks are always going to be there, whether you like it or you don't. But the problem is most of the people complaining don't watch the game. Most of the people complaining and trying to control the game, like these physicians and all that, they don't watch football. They don't really care about football. But yeah, the media will use them as tools to stir this crap up because 98% of the media is full of shit when it comes to this topic. They're all playing the sensationalistic role. That's all they're doing. Meanwhile, there are hundreds of other jobs and things that people do that are just as crazy or crazier or more riskier than anything they do in the NFL. And we're not telling them not to do it. But all of a sudden, we're telling the NFL that this is wrong. Sorry, dude. This is the way it goes. That's the brutality of the game. That's what makes the game special, that most of us aren't tough enough to play that game. That's what makes these men special, that most of them are tough enough to play that game, to survive the brutality of that game. Just like, you know, the Roman days and the gladiators, same thing. Most of us can't be Green Berets, right? Am I right here or what? Most of us can't. So most of us can't be jumping out of helicopters. Most of us can't be part of an elite, or a squadron from the Navy that can, get on a boat and go off a coast and dive and get on land and go disarm bombs or go risk your life or whatever. There's lots of things that people do that they're putting their lives on the line the entire time. Every time a jet fighter gets in a jet and he is in a battle, he puts his life on the line. Every time a cop gets in a car, that man or woman, you have no idea if they're coming back the next day. And we don't, and the mental anguish that police officers have to go through every single day is brutal. Can you imagine that you're going to a job that every day, the second you punch in, you have to have your head on a swivel because you could die at any moment? That doesn't happen to you while you're working at the bakery, unless you're eating too much of the product. Then eventually it might get to you. But you try to do that. And how about being a fireman? Is this the day I got to run into a burning building and carry a 170-pound body down 4 flights of steps with, another 50 pounds of equipment, by the way? Am I the construction worker on a skyscraper bouncing around? The what's that called? The skeleton of the thing at the top where there are no floors left at the moment, and it's just those beams and all that crap. You got balls to do that? Because I ain't got no balls to do that. None whatsoever. Yeah, it's just we have a tendency in this world to just want to go to the extreme on some of these things, and then we go to an extreme, and this is what's happening in life. This is what's happening in politics. The left and the right, the extremes of the left and the right are ruining everything that we do. There's no common ground. No, it has to be some kind of an extreme. No, let's have an autonomous zone. No, let's have no abortions. It has to be some ridiculous extreme always. And that's the problem that we have going on now. We are going to these extremes, and now you're going to an extreme where you're ruining the sport. That's what you're doing. You're ruining the sport of football. You're wussifying the sport of football. It's a tough man sport. You're not tough, don't play it. You're not tough enough to watch it, don't watch it. It's the way it goes. People are going to be concussed. They're going to be knocked out. Just like in a boxing match, just like in an MMA match, they're going to get knocked out. And what are you going to do? That's part of the game. Anyway. Big O, remember the very popular show Deadliest Catch? It was called that because it was considered the most dangerous job in the world. None cared. Also, we can eat crab legs. Exactly. Big O, you think QB should get penalty for faking a slide? Someone is going to get hurt, especially Mahomes. A penalty for faking a slide or taking a slide? I'm not exactly sure. It's hard enough to believe that the refs don't affect the outcomes of games. Now we have some spotters out there that can even have more dramatic effects on the game. Yeah, this is ridiculous. What's going on? See this all the time. Some kind of mental disorder for every ailment, pills handed out for everything these days. Amen. Adriel Heat, couldn't agree with you anymore, Big O. You're speaking facts. Larry in Columbus, tell him Big O. Chris Henry says, I raced motocross for 12 years. You want to talk about injuries? Exactly, Christopher. Exactly. Those motocross guys, they get all screwed up. Skateboard guys, they get all screwed up. Snowboarders, whatever. They're all breaking legs. And, yeah, man, I mean, give me a break. It's so ridiculous. I'm sorry. If you don't like the game, if it's too rough for you, then don't watch. That's all. I don't need your soft ass watching this game. You can't handle it. Too damn bad, bro. Get lost. Don't need you. Let's see. Kevin says, good morning, everybody. After we win this Sunday, you smoke a cigar during the post-game show. LOL. It's a good idea to grab a Perdomo cigar and light it up. 20th anniversary on a win is nice. The only problem is if I'm in studio, you can't smoke in the studio, bro. You know what I'm saying? I need an outside place. And then I would light a victory cigar up. That would be good. That would be good. Remember, as always, you can make donation through Cash App or Venmo. That is Cash Big O Show. And also on Cash App, you can make a Bitcoin donation also. So appreciate it. Ho Yoon, thank you, sir. As always. Oh, he says late birthday. Thank you, Ho Yoon. Appreciate it on Venmo. Let's see. Steve M says Walker has countless times he was never a saint. Just like Obama used to say, marriage was between a man and a woman, just like Biden says, segregationist, what? Surrogationist he worked with in the 70s weren't bad folks. You don't vote for Biden, then right. It doesn't matter who we vote for, bro. Trump, Biden, they're all clowns. You know what I mean? I'm just, honest enough that I know that what we vote for is crap on every end. Whether you're voting for a guy that's an amazing divider of a country or you're voting for a clown that, is going to tax the crap out of us every time, and we're going to pay the price over and over again here. One way or another, we're going to pay. Doesn't matter. And if any of you think any of the two guys that we voted in the last couple times are the answers, you're out of your mind. We haven't voted anybody in decades. That's truly the answer. Okay? Maybe our best politician might have been Bill Clinton, but he was a predator. So it doesn't help when you're a disgusting individual too, The problem with this all is you're never going to find the perfect candidate. It's just impossible. They all have too many interests. They're all powered by different private entities. And so, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. The funny part is when I hear a Democrat or Republican thinking that their side's got it right. That's the hilarious part. But whatever, man. Just saw France, they're going to answer their inflation problem by spending $200 billion by printing more money. That's how they're going to answer inflation. We're so cooked. That's why I keep telling you, Bitcoin, baby, Bitcoin. That's what it's all about. Let's see. What else do we have going on in the world of sports besides this mess with the Dolphins? So yesterday we talked about the Teddy situation, right? With the league and everything else going on. Now the question is, how do they handle Tua and Teddy? And the coach talked yesterday, and if you didn't catch the press conference, it's there on our platform, and you can listen to it. He has not talked about Teddy doing any football stuff yet. I mean, I'm talking about Tua doing any football stuff. Look, this is what optics is. They're playing the optics guitar right now. Not just the Dolphins, but the NFL. You saw what's happened now the last 2 weekends here. They're not taking any chances, and they want to sell it now because the news media is on top of this story now. Okay? And instead of kind of telling everybody, hey, go F yourselves. This is a tough man sport. Whether you like it or not, we're going to try to do our best. But these guys know what they signed up for, because basically that's the way it should be carried. I've said this for many years now. The waiver needs to happen where the league and the players, and you sign a waiver, you cannot sue the league no matter what, because you and I know that there are going to be repercussions from playing this game, whether you like it or not, and you're not going to avoid them. So eventually you're going to have some kind of a waiver. That's just the way it is. That's where we're headed. That's how you save the game. And then everybody knows, hey, man, it's a tough man sport. Nobody ever says anything about boxing. And all those guys are punch drunk at the end of their careers. Most of them. Unless you're like Mayweather, that you're smart, that you were, the greatest defensive boxer of all time, and you made sure you did not take any punishment. But most of these guys that take punishment, by the time they're in their careers, we call them punch drunk. Nobody ever says anything. Nobody ever cares. And MMA fighters are going to be the same way. They're going to be punch drunk too. You chose that sport, right? That's part of the animalistic style of the sport. We don't need you soft ass people watching this sport or judging it. These guys know what they got into. So now the whole Tua thing, look, this is what's going on. It's all window dressing. Next week, he was ready to play this week. And he'll be ready to play this week against Minnesota if they needed. If they wanted to use him, they could. But this is all optics. So they're going to hold him up for a couple games, like I told you. And then next week, he's ready to go. He's starting. And, if he feels good at the end of the week and he's gone through everything, then we will check him out. And then he'll be a game time decision. And then we'll check him. They'll play this whole bullshit, dude, all the way to the end. And then he'll play against Pittsburgh. That's what's going to happen. The writing's on the wall. This is so obvious, everything that went on. As I told my boy Steve M, you're blaming Tua because the league is irresponsible, because the league had shitty protocols. So it happened to be him that went through the whole thing, not somebody else. But eventually it was going to happen. Somebody was going to look badly concussed on the field, and then this was going to hit the fan, because that's what we do in this society. What are you going to do, man? So I see through all this bull crap that they're doing. Let them play that game. They fired that doctor for no reason at all. That doctor followed the protocols you had set in place, and Tua was not affected. As everybody saw in the second half of that Buffalo game, he was not affected at all by what happened in the first half. Not affected at all throughout Thursday. But let's just create something that's not there. Just because a concussion could affect one person differently than others. Clearly with Tua, he bounces back faster than Ethan Carter does. None of us know. You could catch COVID and it goes through you like it's a cold. Somebody else like Dave Navarro, a year and a half later, still has no sense of taste or smell. A year and a half later. From Jane's Addiction, Dave Navarro, the guy's had lung COVID for a year and a half. Can't taste, can't smell. You can't answer DNAs. How many people can do what Zonka did his entire career, be a battering ram leading with this? And look at him. Perfectly fine. He's a beast still. For his age, where he's at, he's super healthy. For the game he played, the position he played, the way he played that position, how many guys would be punch drunk, would look more like Evander Holyfield than Larry Zonka? Most of us would look like Evander Holyfield. These are things you can't measure. So Tua's being held out this week simply out of optics. Nothing more, nothing less. Notice how they don't say he has headaches or nothing. They can't report anything because nothing's happening. The guy's fine. But they can't act like, they can't tell you, oh, no, he's great. They don't want to do that. They don't want to downplay it. So they're playing this game. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, he's joking around. He's hanging out in the building. He's not at home. Oh, my God, in a dark room, I'm having headaches. Like some guys go through that. Some people that suffer head trauma could go through those kind of issues. He's not going through them. Take out the violins, play the game, appease the lynch mob, all that stuff. And in the end, they're going to question the Dolphins when they play them next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the news will be there and all that stuff. And then when Tua comes off the field They'll ask him about all that stuff, and the news media will power into that press conference on top of the sports media. I mean, I see through all this BS, all of it. Just a bunch of crap, man. Just a bunch of crap. You want to make a sport safe that will never be safe. And the day you make it safe is the day you ruin the sport. And by the way, you're well on your way to doing it right now. Age 360 says, "Oh, this isn't the NFL. This is liberalism. Today, the say speech is violence and masculinity is toxic. You're now watching the result." I can't fault anybody for thinking like that. You know? Can't fault anybody for thinking like that. Oh, man. Cash Big O Show on Cash App or Venmo. And Steve M, again, he says, "I agree. All of our political choices are garbage. But when one guy's paid for an abortion and the other guy voted to spend $5 trillion during an inflationary period, I know where my anger wouldn't be aimed." Yeah, but it doesn't matter, dude, either way. You can have the guy that is, well, both of them actually, Trump gave away a whole bunch of money too on the back end, which there was a lot of scamming going on. A lot of people took a lot of money that did not deserve it. But either way, whatever you get, either you get a guy that's dividing the country or you get an idiot that's just going to blow up our economy. And I mean, look at the feds. They keep raising the rates. You're not helping the economy by doing that. So let's see. Let's print more money. Let's raise rates, and let's do very little to help our gas issue. You know, our governments are just, and it's everywhere, all over the world. Doesn't matter where you go. Every country pretty much has got a screwed up situation. One word. Bitcoin. Just saying. Just saying. In another year, when those of you that invested in Bitcoin over the last couple of years, and when you see what ends up happening to dollars all over the world and economies all over the world, and Bitcoin soars, you're going to remember, you're going to go, that idiot Orlando, that moron, because I thought that guy was full of crap, that he kept talking about Bitcoin. And look at it now, and look at our economies all over the world. And I got people listening all over the world. So whether you're in Canada or in Mexico or in Portugal or wherever you're at, Argentina, Colombia, just remember what I told you. Remember what I told you. Okay? Decentralized financing is where we need to go. The centralized stuff is what buries the crap out of all of us. That's what happens, but whatever. Frankie says, at least last night, Raw allowed the suck it sign. Okay, Sean, you got to fill me in. Raw allowed the suck it sign. So somebody in the crowd at Raw had a sign that said, suck it.
Yeah, it was the 25-year anniversary of D-Generation X. They brought them back, and suck it was their phrase. A lot of people suspended from school and things. They used to do the crotch chop with the X and then say suck it. And so they allowed it back in.
Okay. All right. Now I had no idea what the hell you were talking about.
It's more about USA. That's why they put them later at night too, because you have certain things you can't do and say on TV at certain time segments. So what they did was they backed it up toward the end so they could have that on, because now you're looking at 10:55, 11:05 p.m. You can have more stuff on air than you can between 9 and that time.
By the way, do want to remind you, redrecover.com is a proud sponsor of our program. We love talking about Red Recover. And Dr. Francisco Cedral is going to join us at 1 o'clock. We'll have some fun with him. and we'll talk a little bit more about red light therapy. Hey, man, Hayden Hurst, he's playing well. You're watching him play for the Cincinnati Bengals, scored another touchdown this past week. Hayden Hurst uses Red Recover before and after his workouts to optimize his workouts. He probably uses it also before and after games, too. You should use it before you power walk, before and after pickleball, whatever it is you do, tennis, running, weights, you name it. Treat your elbows, your shoulders, your back, your neck, your knees, your ankles, where you're having issues, old injuries, old surgeries. We tend to have some pain and discomfort from some of that stuff. RedRecover.com can help ease all of that. If it recently just happened, it will help you in the recovery phase of it on top of all of that. And listen, I tell you about growing hair. The hat, remember, you've got to email them. Somebody was asking me about the hat on a DM. Go to contact us and send them an email for the hat. But they've got it all, whether it's for your growing your hair, you name it, man. Scars. You got a scar from an operation or an injury, you use red light therapy on it for 15 minutes a day, and it will help make that scar disappear. I mean, it really is amazing. Red light therapy can help you in so many ways. Go to redrecover.com, use our code Big O, and get 10% off. Redrecover.com. All right. Let's see.
Hey,
yes.
Do you mind if I answer one of the guys in the chat real quick?
Go ahead, man.
All right. Michael Gura, you said, why does Chris Nowinski, PhD, that's his Twitter handle, has to have the PhD in there, have such a hard-on for McDaniel and the Dolphins? It's not a hard-on for McDaniel and Dolphins. He goes in hard on any time there's a head-related injury in any sport or anything. He was a pro wrestler, retired from wrestling because of post-concussion syndrome. Then he co-founded the Concussion Legacy Foundation. Then he went on to co-found the Boston University CTE Center, which have been doing a lot of the junior. They did the junior SEAL and things like that. It's not McDaniel and the Dolphins just right now. Again, as O just said, it's mainstream media now. So he's on there, to just get his whole thing out there. That's why he has it's not the hard on for the Dolphins or McDaniel. It's the hard on for the concussion. And now that it has national media, he's out there front and center for his foundation and the Concussion Legacy Foundation.
There you go.
Sorry, that was it.
There you go. All right. So,
and also real quick, he was out there on NASCAR too because of Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch suffered a concussion and has been out he hasn't been able to drive for the last, I believe it's almost 8 weeks now, almost 2 months he's been out of the car. And Alex Bowman had to sit out last week, and I don't think he's back this week either.
Right. Yeah. Fugencio, Orlando, as I said before multiple times, the NFL is dying beast. NFLPA union reminds me of politics. I'm Cuban. I know how this is framed. Well, I don't know about the, that side of it that has anything to do with being Cuban. All I know is these are bad decisions because you're caving into pressures that you don't need to cave into, and reality needs to set in. Okay, and the problem is people aren't honest enough. That's all. And the people that are complaining, the problem is, does anybody mention all the things that I mentioned? You never hear that, right? You never hear about a fireman going into a burning building. You never hear about somebody that is hiking up a mountain. You never hear about a surfer on top of a 70-foot wave. Why don't they mention all of that? Boxers, MMA. Do you know how many jobs are as risky as the NFL or riskier? Give me a break, dude. It's just that, so we want to control one sport, so we're going to just ruin everything else? It's a lot of risky stuff that people do, man. You watch those skateboarders? All right, have you seen the guy that misses the bar that you slide on? And what does he end up landing on? His balls. Yeah, no. No, 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 no. No. I remember I had a PE teacher named Chesno in Arbondale Elementary. And best PE teacher I ever had, even though he was a full-blown racist. Best PE teacher I ever had. But one of the things that he used to why he was the best PE teacher, by the way, he taught you every sport. It didn't matter, dude. From track to football to volleyball to gymnastics, you became a well-rounded athlete by attending his PE class because you worked anything and everything. And it didn't matter. But there was one thing that I wouldn't do, and it was the balance beam. Dude, he had all the gymnastics, rings, high jump, balance beam, parallel bars, uneven parallel bars. The dude whipped out you name it. And he tried to teach you everything. Didn't matter what it was. Best PE teacher I ever had. Ever. Hated Cubans, by the way. Couldn't stand them. You work in an elementary in the middle of Little Havana, and you hate Cubans. Anyway, but I can compartmentalize, okay? As much as I know he was a racist, he was my best PE teacher ever, my favorite. Believe it or not. And anybody that went to Arbondale in the 60s to 70s, you know what I'm talking about. Chesno was the best. I don't even know if there's one person watching or listening that went to Arbondale during those days. But if you did, and you're honest with yourself, no matter how much of a dick Chesno was, you'll say he was the best. But that balance beam, I wanted no part of it, bro, because all I thought about was me falling and hitting my nuts. So I said, no, I'm not doing that. No. No. I'm almost like I'd rather run head on to another player in football than land in the middle of that balance beam. You know what I'm saying? That was one that I would tell you, nah, I'm not doing that one, Chaz. No. That one I would stay away from. That scared the crap out of me, bro. Did all the other ones, tried everything else he had, but that was one thing I couldn't do. There's risks in everything in life, dude. Everything. Daddy Dean says, I got a concussion at work the other day. Do I get 2 weeks paid off? How about that? Let's see. If the skateboard guy ends up landing on his crotch, that could be a concussion protocol since most of us think with our crotch. Ha ha. That is very true, radio host. Very true. Organizations invest in millions of dollars in players, not the same thing. Just bought more Vet and Gala. Yeah, baby. Nice job by you. Gala got under 4 cents right there. Enormous. You're good move. I got Gala yesterday myself, by the way. Got a little more Gala, got a little more H-bar yesterday. And when H-bar is in the 5 cent area, buy. So H-bar is another one that I've loaded up on there. Manolo Rivera says, what's your opinion on the possible effects of the spotter in NFL gambling? I just talked about that, bro. You may want to rewind, dude. Concussions are an unfortunate product of the NFL, and player safety is becoming more important. Anyone conflating that as a political isn't serious. It just a bad process that will hopefully evolve. Well, everything is going to be politicized. Brian says, good morning from South Carolina. I watched Hayden Hurst play for the Gamecocks, and he has been great. He's gotten better and better, man. It's gotten better. Big O, any updates on Teddy getting through protocol? Is it possible he plays? He's playing on Sunday. He'll play on Sunday. Tua will play on next week. This is all just window dressing. That's all they're doing, folks. Fins up, Dolphin Nation. Adversity has officially hit. Now is when we find out what we're made of as a collective unit. Jay Hurd, nobody survives losing your 2 tackles and your 2 corners and your starting quarterback. It's just hard to survive that. It's just not next man up. Miami never had an offensive line. So now you're asking them to have 2 capable backups? I mean, Teron Armstead's the capable starter, and then you're hoping that Austin Jackson can just kind of hold up and get better. So now you're hoping that they have great backups too? Come on, man. And then you've got 2 corners that you don't have another X and another Byron Jones. Nobody has another X or Byron Jones sitting behind those kind of guys. So Byron hasn't played all year. You've had to kind of make up for that. Now you've got to make up also for X. And then you lose Tua and you watch the serious drop-off from Tua to the other guys. And then look around the league. Look at some of the quarterback play around the league. It doesn't even come close to the way Tua was playing the first couple weeks. It's not this whole next man up, or we'll find out about us and all that. That's good for maybe one position, but not about the 3 most important positions on the football field. You just don't overcome that. It's not that easy. That's why I didn't walk away from the game on Sunday. You know, I hated that they lost. It sucked, but I wasn't sitting there going, oh my God, they were terrible and they should have won this game and they screwed this up and they're a disaster and this and that. No, dude, they're just missing way too much, and they made it a game for 3 quarters. And you had a rookie 7th round quarterback that, you know, that wasn't going to be ever your answer. I just think it's completely unfair, some of the expectations some of you have put on that team. And like that gentleman there, like, all right, we're gonna see what they're made of. Man, they fought, dude. They made it a game for 3 quarters without the 5 most, well, at least 4 of the most important players on the team. Austin Jackson doesn't earn that spot yet, but hell, he's more important than Greg Little. I just think some of you, I get it. You're frustrated. You're disappointed. You're carrying 20 plus years of baggage. Don't use the 20 years of baggage and all the crap that's happened in the past and throw it on this team and throw it on McDaniel and throw it on what's going on right now. It's unfair. It's unfair. You know, some guy was like, oh, well, if they lose this week, the season's over, this, that. And I'm like, man, just check back with me in, you know, weeks 12 to 14. Then we'll know what reality is. But even if you lose this week and drop to 3-3, the season is not over by any stretch whatsoever. That's ridiculous. By the way, Sports Grill has got 7 amazing locations. And remember, during football season here, NCAA and NFL, they've got $1.50 Bud Light drafts and bottles. They've got new cocktails that they've added, $5 cocktails during the NCAA and NFL games, the cherry lemonade and the tailgate tea. They've got $12 domestic pitchers, bone-in wings, 15% off during college and NFL games. They also added the new buttermilk chicken sandwich. It is delicious. And the buffalo tater tots. Hot sauces are also available. Buffalo, Miami Heat, blackberry, barbecue, and dale. You could take those home with you. Douse your chicken and your steak and your pork with it. It's like you're bringing a slice of Sports Grill home. It's a beautiful thing, man. Doral is coming soon. We'll tell you when that's open. Hopefully by November, we'll have it open. Kendall location has milkshakes every Monday with rock and roll music playing all night long. And today's Tuesday. $2 tacos, chicken, beef, or fish. So get on down there, enjoy those tacos at Sports Grill, baby. And go on Twitter and Instagram. Follow them there at Sports Grill. Dan Muller, thank you, sir, for the super chat. He says, people are so quick to jump ship, can't fix stupid. I won't call it stupid, but I'll call it a lack of loyalty. That's what I'll call it. You know, because you're giving up on the team already. You're not really a Dolphins fan, dude. You know, you're just hoping for good stuff, and if good stuff doesn't happen, then that's it. And part of being a fan is, unfortunately, you got to deal the bad with the good. This is where I honestly mean this. I really wonder about some of you out there when it comes to like real relationships, because you're so fair weathered, right? That I just want, like, you're not interested in the team at all, or you're so quick to jump off of it if things don't go well. I wonder if you can actually maintain relationships, because you're going to have good and bad in relationships. You got to try to work through them. You know what I mean? If you care about the relationship. So I really wonder about some of you, if you actually can maintain girlfriends or husbands or boyfriends or wives or anything for a long period of time, because it just doesn't look like it for some of you out there. Like at the end it says through thick and thin. I don't know about some of you out there. I don't know if there's much thick for some of you out there, to be quite honest. That's one that I would question. Nico Jones, thank you for the love in the super chat, my friend. Dolphins need better kicker next year. Jason Sanders is now 2 for his last 8 for kicks, 50-plus yards. That's basically turnover for the opposing team. He has not been nearly as clutch as when he first started. And this happens sometimes with kickers, Nico. That's why it's hard to keep them for a long, long time. They've got to be really, really special in order for you to do that. And Sanders has been a hell of a kicker for this team. Now, again, let's see how the season finishes. Only 5 games have been played. If he goes to kick ass over the next 12, then he completely changes, the perception of it. And if you get to the playoffs and if he hits clutch kicks, then it will change everything. So for now, I'm not ready to give up on Jason Sanders because it's still too early. I need to see more of the season. Kickers can turn things around. I'd give him a break. Okay? I'd give him a break. So, what do we got here? Blink 182. I've been sent the tour dates here. They coming here? Anything to Florida? I don't see anything in Florida. Oh, yeah, Fort Lauderdale. Coming to Fort Lauderdale. So that probably means Fort Lauderdale, Blink 182. Then that means Culture Room. It means Revolution Live. It doesn't mean Pompano Beach Amphitheater. It says Fort Lauderdale. Have to look it up where they're going in Fort Lauderdale. That might not be a bad concert to go enjoy. A little Blink 182. Rick DeMann says NFL, and thank you for the love on the super chat. He says NFL should add 3 more players to active roster, extra round in the draft for the extra game added to regular season. New concussions will have many outs. Yes, you're right, but that has to be agreed upon by the owners, because that means they're going to spend more money of their pie. The NFLPA will agree to that because it's more jobs. But it's up to the owners to agree to that because it's more players, more money in insurance, more money in injury risk. All of those things come to play. Yeah. So that's where you bring up common sense, Rick. That doesn't mean for years I've said you've got to have 2 bye weeks, not 1, because everybody that plays on a Thursday night should have a bye week before. They basically get a bye week after because they get 10 days to rest. So that's cool. But they don't do it. And then they say they care about player safety. They care about player safety, and then they care about providing a great game. Think about it. What does it hurt the NFL to have 19-week season instead of an 18-week season? And 2 of them are bye weeks. That way you have bye weeks in each half of the years. That way teams will have opportunities to rest, and then anybody and everybody that plays on a Thursday night will be off the week before. I've said this for years, Rick. Do they do it? No. Why? I don't know, because it makes sense. Because if you're really trying to take care of the players, if you really want to put the best product on the field, wouldn't it be better to give those teams an entire week off before they play on Thursday night? So they rest for 10 or 11 days before they play? Wow, what a concept. Better game because they're rested, and then they get to rest after the Thursday game, so they get to recover. Wow, shocker. And if you're the team going to London, you also get the bye week after that. Wow, what a concept. Holy shit. But what are you going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Common sense is not common anymore. So, Rick, I'm with you, baby, but they should. I don't believe, put it this way, I don't believe anybody should be inactive. You have a 53-man roster, all 53, I've said this for years, should be activated. Not 45, not 48 like you're saying, not 50, 53. You have a 53-man roster? Well, then all 53 should be activated. And then what you do is off your practice squad, you have a pool of 5 players who can dress. And those players are emergency players. That's what I would do. But that, again, would require more money, more insurance, more expenditure from the owners. Do they care about player safety? If you cared about player safety, you would give the coaches 53 players to play. But because you don't care about player safety, you can sell me the bullshit, but I'm not going to believe it. So you activate only 45 of the 53 you have on the roster. Where does that make any sense? Please don't sell me that you care about the players. But that's all right. You can go believe all this concussion protocol stuff that they're going through now. And that, they're oh, yeah, no, I'm not thinking about Tua doing anything now. Deep down inside, Mike McDaniel knows Tua could have played against the Jets. Gilbert Martinez, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. It is very kind of you. Thank you, thank you. And remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. You can even donate Bitcoin. Remember, we get 100% of the donation through Cash App or Venmo. We don't mind the super chats, but YouTube does take 30% of it. So that's why we mention it always. But always appreciate it. Thank you, because it always helps our show grow. Freddie says they need to have multiple unbiased spotters that unanimously agree with the video evidence that there is a taxis. Feel like the ruling on Teddy was lazy. It's PR, dude, not lazy. PR. Okay. Big O, I've had 333 surgeries. Never. AM? I don't know what that means, Gilbert. Never AM. What does that mean? Do you figure that out, Sean? I can't figure out what that means. Neuro check. Oh, neuro check on me. Oh, you didn't have a neuro check on you? Okay. Tua has less yards than Burrow. Yeah, no. Tua's useless, bro. He's short and he's got a noodle arm and he'll never be able to play in this league, and he can't throw deep and he can't run a high-powered offense, and Tua's done, bro. It's over for Tua. That's it. We just gotta mail it in. Sid Reddy says apparently the spotter is an athletic trainer from the hometown where the game is played. Yep. Can you say conflicting interests? LOL. I have no idea if that's true or not. But that's funny if it is. The NFL is a joke, dude. It's just a joke. All of this is a joke. Rick, again, another super chat. Thank you, sir. He goes, I agree with adding waivers. We played this game as kids without equipment and refs to get to the highest level, so why soften it once we reach it? Your guess is as good as mine. They have a soft-ass world. That's the only thing I can tell you, man. You know? But, again, do we have any sports dradamas going on there, Sean? Huh? Do we got it? Do we got it?
No, I'm slacking. I got
Okay.
it.
All right. NFLPA could negotiate that, but I guess they're not that smart. It's not that. It's not that, Max. It's that the owners don't care. Don't blame the NFLPA. The NFLPA would love to have them all active. They kind of fight to have more actives. The league doesn't care about the players. They only care enough to do PR. And that's what they're doing now to try to appease you guys, some of you, and to shut down the national media and get them off their backs. If they cared, they would have the whole roster active. If they cared, they would have a second bye week. They don't care, man. They don't care. Speaking of soft, did you hear the complaints when Troy said take the dresses off? Yeah, I heard Troy Aikman. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of the few times I gotta be honest, GP Trap. It's one of the few times I want to hear Troy Aikman. I think Troy Aikman could be one of the worst color commentary guys ever. He says nothing, dude. He repeats the obvious. He repeats the same cliches I've heard in football forever. I never learn a damn thing when Troy is there. It's just, it's lazy broadcasting. I don't know what people find in Troy Aikman. Thank God he actually said something. But his analysis of the games are terrible. They're so, I don't know what they're preschool. Okay? It's not the kind of stuff that brings you want next gen stats, you want insight on things. Sometimes you want to look at something in a different angle or something. He provides none of that. None of it, dude. And yeah, what he said yesterday that he took a shot at the NFL with the whole thing, I agree with the quarterback stuff. Thank God he had an opinion on that. But when it comes to his football analysis, play-by-play stuff that he does with Buck, terrible. Oh, he's unlistenable for me. I cringe that I have to listen to him. Right? Kind of like some guy named Thomas that we called Cringe that used to go into the locker rooms back in the day, who was like the worst reporter I've ever seen in my life, would ask the dumbest questions and at the worst times. Regalado. That's it. That's his name. Yeah. My God. That guy had no business being, we called him Cringe because we would all cringe because every time he'd walk in, he'd ask a stupid ass question. Some people don't belong in our business. The sad part is the wrong people are in charge and they don't know who to hire. But yeah, shit like that. Aikman hasn't been right since his Oklahoma days. When the Canes sent him to UCLA with a broken leg. Big O, the NFL is evolving to a point where all QBs will be wearing red jerseys like in training camp. And then the league will die. So if they want to kill the league, they're on their way now. You know, it's a Teflon league. They survive everything. This is one you're not going to survive. You can't take brutality away from the sport. It's the way it is. You know? Big O, Arsenal beat Liverpool over the weekend. Last time Arsenal won the league was back in 2003. I know. Been suffering for a while. I'm with you. Early 2000s is when we mattered. And right now, we matter. Our boys are doing really well in Arsenal. It looks like a real team now. Finally. It's taken forever. But looks like we may have a team now that actually could challenge. It's pretty awesome, man. It's fun to watch because it's only been frustrating to watch Arsenal. You know, watching Arsenal and the Dolphins and the Marlins and it's been the Canes. It's been like a rough 20 years, bro. Rough 20 years. Think about that. A rough 20 years. God. Put the QB in those sumo fat suits and let him play. You know, for player safety. Oh, God, I'm way late. Let's take a quick break. Hour number 1 is done. Give me 2 minutes to rest the voice here on the Big O Radio Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house! Get out of the house!
Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Board hour number 2 of the program. Hope you all are doing well out there. Hope you're hanging in there on a Tuesday. I know football wise it is tough. Basketball getting a little better, right? because we got the Heat season right around the corner. They've got Wednesday. They'll take on New Orleans for their final preseason game. And then they start the following week. Last night, they defeated the Rockets 118-110. Strus had 24 points in 24 minutes. Jamal Cain, 15 points and 6 rebounds. It looks like the Heat found themselves another guy. Pretty amazing how it really is amazing how this team is able to find guys on a consistent basis. That is like super impressive, right? I don't know if it gets more impressive than what they're doing, or I don't know around the league if anybody is doing it better than the Miami Heat. And you know that it's going to happen that one of these guys is going to turn into a star. Not just a good player or a very good role player or a bench player or something like that. No. It's going to happen that one of these guys is going to turn into a star. Okay. Duncan Robinson got close. He has become one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. And by the way, the last couple of games, shooting really well. He had like 29 points, I believe, in the last game. This one, he had 14. He shot 4 of 10 from three-point range. And his game is expanding. He's doing other things, which I commend him, because a lot of people talked about his deficiencies off defensively. But I was quick to point out throughout the year last year, he has a crap ton of deficiencies offensively. The only thing he does is shoot, and he's got to do way better in so many other offensive categories to help his team, and he's trying to do that. But Jamal Cain, wow, hell of a find. And Nikola Jovic, I mean, Jovic had 15 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. This kid also is playing pretty well, man. Now it's preseason. I can't get too crazy about preseason, but I like what I'm seeing from Jovic. And let me tell you, if the Heat is going to be an impactful team, improvement from within is what it's all about. They didn't add a star. They lost PJ Tucker. They lost a crap ton of leadership there. They got to replace that. I don't think you can replace that. But they're going to need a group of these young guys to really step up. Like Caleb's got to get to that next level. Gabe's got to get to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Duncan's got to get back to where he was and play even better than that all around. That's what's got to happen. But, man, when you start seeing Jamal Cain and Nikola Jovic, 2 guys that you didn't have last year, and now that could be 2 more bodies that you're adding, really like that. Really like what I'm seeing from the Heat. I mean, they are just absolutely amazing at how they develop talent. Impressive as hell. I really like what I'm seeing from the Miami Heat. It's going to be another fun season. This is what's going to happen. If you want to get in, 855-912-1056 on the Welt and Rayom text line. That's 855-912-1056. on the Welt and Rayom text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because that, my friends, is a 24-hour talk show. And I get up. It says, my friends remember Big O had his head far up Brian Flores' ass. We all heard what a great coach he was for 3 years. Now all of a sudden he sucks. I love these guys. It's like I never cheered for him for 3 years. And yeah, I gave him a chance early on and believed in what he was doing early on, liked what he was doing early on, but then I started to figure things out. Some of you out there, you can't figure things out, so you stay with it. Is that what you do? I gave Gase a chance too. I mean, if you're going to send a text, at least send one that's intelligent, not one that's lazy and stupid. The NFL is trying to appease people that are not fans or customers of their sport while alienating their true customers with the concussion drama, not to mention how it will affect the gambling industry. Exactly. Yep. 1,000% right. It's exactly what I said. A lot of the people complaining, they're not even football fans. They don't care. And they're not following so many other sports that are putting a ton of people at risk. Apparently, Mbappe is not for sale despite reports that he wants to leave PSG in January. So Sky Sports is reporting that Mbappe is not for sale. How about that for breaking news? Not as big as Kansas and Lou Graham, but it's decent news. That Mbappe guy, he might make it in soccer. There's a chance, right? He might figure it out. He's no Noah Igbenogamy in football, but he's one day he'll figure it out in soccer. It's called sarcasm. Relax. Jay Hurd says, Big O, what are your thoughts on the defensive play call so far this year? Also, do you envision a big jump when Byron returns? If he and X are healthy, I'm concerned with Byers' play calling. I'm not going to judge Josh Boyer without those guys. It's hard. Now, I can judge Jalen Phillips for not doing better getting after the quarterback. I can judge Emmanuel Ogbah. You got your money, bro. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. But overall, that defense is not going to be the same without the shutdown corners. You're not going to be able to do the things you want to do. Not the way that defense is designed to get after you, to blitz you all the time and all those things. You need two guys out there on the island, and they don't have it. So to me, that's the problem with all of this. So until you get those guys back, I'm not – see, a lot of you are either dumping on the team right away, or you're quitting on Josh Boyer right now, or, whatever it is. And it's just too early to do all of that. Way too early. Just go back to when they were healthy and you were winning. You were coming back from 21. You were beating the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had some idiot yesterday, and this is the stupidity that we get. Some guy goes to me, well, the New England Patriots beat the Detroit Lions with Zappy. And I said, and the Miami Dolphins dominated the New England Patriots. What's your point? With their starting quarterback, by the way. But, I mean, if you want to get stupid with me, go ahead. I'll crush you. And stop overreacting. Let's wait till they get healthy again. And then maybe, and listen, we got good news yesterday. Teron Armstead, I was afraid of that one. And it doesn't look like he's going to have surgery or anything season ending. And the way the coach was talking about, like, he trusts him and all that he's never trusted a player more than Teron Armstead. So then I guess Teron Armstead's going to find a way to get on the field again. But can you stay on the field, dude? Doesn't help that you're going to try to play if you can't finish the game. But at least it looks like it's not a season-ending thing, so they'll try to get him back. Again, steel-toe shoes. Find them. Create them. Wear them. So you got that going on. X, we'll see. Byron Jones, we'll see. But you got to get those guys back. Austin Jackson would be nice to get him back too. And then if they're back and then they're playing bad, then I'm going to tell you, okay, something's going on offensively, defensively, whatever, and then we'll point it out. But everything was going great while they were healthy. So all of a sudden you lose your starting quarterback, your starting tackles, and your shutdown corner. You already had the other shutdown corner out, but you were overcoming that. It's hard to overcome all of this. Just is. And then, like a buddy of mine goes, well, Javon Holland isn't playing as well lately. And I go, yeah, he played 90 plays in a short week against Buffalo. You think that might have taken some of the engine out of him? You think he might have been a little worn down? You know, you guys gotta take a step back and relax a little bit here. It's too much of the panic buttons going on. I don't know, man. Do I have to be your psychologist too? It's just you're so quick to jump off the ship when all you got to do is go back to 2 weeks and everything was fine when they had their guys on the field. But if you start losing your key guys, and we're talking about the most important positions in pro football, and especially on this team, how do you survive that? It's really a simple equation. It's really not that hard to decipher what's going on and why you have a drop off. And from Tua to Teddy is a monster drop off. Tua to Skyler is light years. Easy, man. Take it easy. Okay. Slow down. Before you panic and the sky is falling and the season's over and all of that, check yourself. Remind yourself just 2 games ago what was going on when they were healthy. Just remind yourself on that Thursday night, if Tua stays healthy in that game, what happens? And I know they win that game. Okay? Hell, they took a lead with Teddy Bridgewater. It's not even 2 games. Go back 6 quarters, and life was different. In 6 quarters, some of you have lost your minds. In 6 quarters, you have given up on the season. In 6 quarters, Mike McDaniel is no longer a good coach. Josh Boyer sucks. No one else can play. And this is a disaster, and fire Chris Greer in 6 quarters. Wow. Not 6 games, 6 quarters. It's just like, one of those things that, what can I tell you? I'm trying to walk you off the ledge. I'm trying to keep you a little bit more sane here, but I can only do so much. If things weren't good, I'm the first guy to tell you things aren't good. But I'm not ready to say that things are, the wheels have come off and the season's over and all that stuff. No. This team was kicking ass, bro. They were fine. It's just they got injured, and that's it. Let's see. Leon says availability is as important as talent. Our roster is going to be in a state of upheaval all season. These are not the guys who will stay healthy. Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm not ready to, again, pass judgment on all of them and say that this is what they are. I know that Armstead does have that issue. That's kind of been his thing. Michael says, I keep freezing for a second. Well, what do you want me to do, my brothers and sisters? I can't do anything about that. When that stuff happens, it could be my internet, could be Sean's, could be yours. Either way, I can't control any of this shit. That's all I can tell you. Need to play Jalen Phillips and stunts more, find the weak points along opposing offensive lines. He needs to get his ass in gear and get after the quarterback and get some sacks. Okay? He's got to play better. And Agba does too. You got your money. Let's go. Bottom line, Tua can't stay healthy. Finn should consider drafting another QB. Yes, let's go with the other QB talk. That's right, Lucas. Just remember all the QBs that have been drafted, Lucas, for the last 20 years. Any of them play like Tua? Any? Don't be so quick to get off that train. It's a problem with some of you. And if he misses this game and comes back for the next, I think he would have tied Joe Burrow for games missed so far. Because it's like 6, right? 2 in each season so far, right? Is that what it's been? Something like that? What's it been? Can you look it up for me, how many games he's missed? So he's missed kind of around the same as Joe Burrow. Not much more of a difference. It's just Joe did it all at once when he blew out his knee. And Tua's done like 2, 2, 2, and I think it's been 2, 2, and 2, right? Something like that. Oh, well, actually, he would have come back sooner last year if Idiot didn't hold him out. Because he wanted to play, but Idiot kept him out. But that's all right, bro. You know, it's all good. So think about this is the part of all right, we got 445 people on the chat board right now. All right, now be honest now and be objective, okay? And please smash the hell out of the like button while you're at it. 404. Come on, man. We should be over 500 then. Answer this question, okay? Be honest now. So let's say he misses 2 games a year, okay? Let's just say that's the average. He's going to miss 2 games a year. He'll play 15 of the 17 games. All right, let's just have some fun with this, okay? Now watch how he has played this year under this coach and this offense. Have you seen anybody in 20 years play like that in a Dolphin uniform since Dan Marino? So, are you really willing to get rid of a quarterback that can play at an incredibly high level? Okay, maybe he does get injured twice a year. Maybe he misses 2 games a year. But then think of Damon Heward and Ray Lucas and Jay Fiedler and Jay Cutler and John Beck and Pat White. Okay? And Fitzpatrick and just saying. Just keep thinking of all those guys. But you got to get Tua, and he misses 2 games a year for your little whiny bitches out there. Who do you want? Tua or the field? You want to roll the dice again in the draft? Tua or the field? Let me see. Tua or the field? The field means, you trade for Garoppolo, you draft somebody. Tua or the field? Yeah, Cleo Lemon. Yeah, Culpepper. You know the names. You don't need to put the names. You know the names for 20 years. Tua or the field? Absolutely not. Tua's our guy. I'll take Tua. Think of what if Tua retires. Tua demand. Missing 2 games a year, I'll take that definitely. Tua is just scratching the surface. Tua the man. Tua all day. 2 games a year out, I'll take a heartbeat. Tua's a stud. Tua. Perspective is what you need. You need perspective here. Don't overreact. Okay? Kid's got to learn to get rid of the ball. He does that. He saves himself a hip injury, ankle injuries, concussions. Notice he's not leaving games when he's getting rid of the ball. He's only leaving games when he's hanging on to the ball. So the equation is super easy. live longer, play more games, get rid of the ball. Tua or the field? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Sean, what you got for me?
All right, in 2020, he played 10 games, but I know he came in, around game 4 or 5, whatever it
Yeah,
was.
Fitz was, yeah. That's
Last year, he played 13.
And he missed 2, right? And I don't think. See, I can't blame him for maybe that third game he missed is not on him because the idiot held him out, and then the
Well,
idiot
there
was
was
going to
4
hold him out
games.
again,
There was
and then
4
played him.
games, but there was 4 games he missed because there's 17 games now.
Right, I know, but what I'm saying is, I think he only legitimately probably 2 on him. The other ones were on Flo, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
holding him out. Yeah. And then this season was the 4. He just missed the first game, which was
Right.
the Teddy game, this last game.
Right, and he'll miss this one. So
Yeah,
the
probably.
2.
Yep. Mhm.
He'll probably come back for Pittsburgh, like I've been saying. Tua or the field? That's all you got to ask yourself. You want to keep going to that well? I don't, it's just, I can only do so much for you all out there, really. If you want to listen to the sensationalism and all those stupid talk shows that they want to scare you, they want to get you pissed off, and I'm, some guy was like, oh, this is good for you. And I'm like, no, dude, I don't live off misery. No, that's not my style. I'm not rooting for teams to lose. I'm not wanting them to have controversies. I don't want any of that shit, dude. That's not who I am. That's not the way I live my life. Anything negative that happens, I try to move on right away and overcome it. That's how I've always been. It's how I'm always going to be. That's never going to change. It's my DNA. And so some of you live for misery. You want to point at misery. You want to point at all this stuff. I'm sorry, man. And I saw it after this game. And I guess we see it differently. I was proud of those guys. They hung in there. I know that they were overmatched and they didn't have a chance with that young quarterback there, unfortunately, and no tackles and no corners, and it changes the defense and everything. And they made it a game for 3 quarters, man. And unfortunately, the wheels came off in the 4th quarter. But I'm not going to sit here and slam those guys. They played their asses off, man. All of a sudden, in 6 quarters, some of you have just made this into like all hell's breaking loose. Hey, have you heard the news? That's a Kiss song, by the way. There'll be musical references in and out. You don't know what I'm talking about? Keep up. Do we really want to start over at QB? No. It scares the shit out of you, huh? After I phrased it that way, right? A lot of you then rethought about this whole Tua thing. How many of you, by the way, be honest now again, how many of you, when I phrased the whole Tua thing, Tua and the field, and you realize the crap you've been through, and you're then complaining about him being out a game or 2 or 3 in a season, but look at the kind of play you can get out of him. Did it change your mind? I'm just wondering, how many of you, be honest now, when I spun it that way to you and I told you, do you really want to go back to the well? Or do you want to go with the best quarterback you've had since Marino? How many of you did not think about it that way and you changed your mind? Because I know there had to have been a few of you. And a bunch that will download it throughout the day and night or the next week when they get this segment. They're going to go, oh, yeah. Yeah, this might be one we want to put on video, Sean. This might be one that Tua or the field. That's the title right there, Tua or the field. I think that one's going to hit home for a lot of people. Let's see. Tua has missed 5 games in his career. Lamar Jackson but Lamar Jackson has played a lot more years. What's this, like 5th year or 6th year for Lamar? No, 5th, right? Because he's playing his extension year, right? That's what it is. So 5th year. He's 2 years ahead. So that's not, and he's a running quarterback. So let me tell you something. I'm shocked Lamar Jackson's only missed 7 games. Okay? I'm impressed that he's missed only 7 games. Let's see. We can only start over if Big O is going to be our new QB. Exactly. Because I've got the gun. The photographer shoved to the ground. Oh, yeah. Do I have time? Yes, I do. Okay, let's get into that. So Devontae Adams did something really disgusting after the game last night. He shoved a cameraman to the ground, and let me see if we have it up. Yes, we do. Let's enlarge it for you here. So this is Devontae Adams coming off the field last night in the game where the Las Vegas Raiders lost to the Kansas City Chiefs, dropping to 1-4. Let's watch it a couple more times. There you go. So now you see, now you're able to watch the entire incident. And he did apologize for it. Not now, here's my problem with apologies. And if you've watched this show long enough, I tell you this all the time. Apologies don't fly for everything. There are things that you do, you can come back and apologize for them. You can't be forgiven them for them. This is one of them. There's no apologies here. You can apologize if you want. That's fine. I don't know if he wants to accept it or not, but I'm not accepting it because there's no apologies for that. That is a scumbag, low-life move on your part because you're frustrated. And so Devontae Adams, he gave his half-ass. And here's the other thing about his apology, why it's trash. You don't even have the balls to actually say what happened and truly apologize. So here's his apology. Says, before I answer anything else, I want to apologize to the guy, some guy running off the field, and he ran or jumped in front of me. Lies. Coming off the field, and I bumped into him and kind of pushed him, and he ended up on the ground. No, you didn't kind of push him, dude. You pushed the hell out of him. You meant that shit, and you kept walking. There was no kind of push. He didn't jump in front of you. He was standing in front of you. You could have just kept walking, and he would have come out of the way because that's what they do. They're just getting shots of players off the field. So, Devontae Adams, your apology is dirt. It's garbage. Your ass chose money over winning. Right? Because you don't choose the Raiders over the Packers. The Packers are the real organization. The Raiders are not. They're like the Dolphins. They're still trying to find their way. They're not established in anything. They've got some talent, there's no doubt about it. And Derek Carr's a good quarterback, but he's not Aaron Rodgers. And he never will be Aaron Rodgers. And I like Derek Carr, solid quarterback. Still not Aaron Rodgers. So you were butthurt that Green Bay didn't want to give you the money, but you chose the money. So if Kansas City wins the Super Bowl and the Dolphins don't even make it to the playoffs and Tyreek Hill is pissed, you chose the money. Now, Tyreek has not acted like that, so I'm not going to, but my point is when you leave an organization because they don't want to pay you the money you think you're worth, okay, where you choose to go, that's your decision now. So you're not really choosing to win. You are choosing the biggest check, right? Tyreek Hill at least was honest. He said, hey, man, Florida has no state tax. I had to do the mature thing because he's going to make more money here than he would with the Jets. So he signed with Miami. Some of you Dolphin fans were kind of butthurt about the honesty. What'd you think? He just signed here because he thinks you're beautiful? No. He signed here because he's going to make more money in a no-tax state. You chose your path. Don't complain about it now. So Davante Adams, you're 1-4. You're pissed off. Well, dude, you chose to go to the Las Vegas Raiders. You wanted to go back to Vegas, your hometown. You played at Fresno. You played with Derek Carr at Fresno. You wanted to team up with your best buddy. You're 1-4. Too bad, so sad. But don't take it out on a guy that's just earning a living, dude. This is the kind of shit that pisses me off, like Lance Armstrong and Ryan Braun. You're in a position of power, you're a famous person, and now you want to trash somebody below you because they're beneath you, because they're not useful to you. So somebody may be busting you about your lies, so you're going to try to get them fired, Lance Armstrong or Ryan Braun. Or you're Davante Adams, and you're walking off the field, and you're pissed off some guy is taking your picture, your video, while you're walking off the field after a loss. Well, be a man. That's the way it goes. You chose this, right? You want the praise when you caught 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. You have to live with the defeats. You have to live with disappointment. And you have to carry yourself with class during that disappointment, during those defeats. Pushing a defenseless cameraman to the ground is just a scumbag move. And your apology is actually worse than the shove, because your apology says, I do not respect this human being enough to actually apologize the proper way to him. Because if anything, you should probably track him down. You should probably shake his hand. You should probably look him in the eye and truly apologize and say, hey, dude, I'm an asshole. I was wrong. I was mad. I took it out on you, and it's not your fault. But no, instead, you give a half-ass apology at the podium because, I don't know, I guess you're going to count your money on the way home. Check the bank account. That record's a lot better than the one in the standings, Davante. That one's better. Check the bank account. That way you don't have to look at the standings anymore, my friend. That's all. That'll be better. Make you feel better, because that's what you're all about, right? The money. You chose the money, right? Here's what comes with the money. The losing. Enjoy your stay with the Raiders. Let's see. What else do we have here? That's a definite suspension. It's one thing to shove another player, but the cameraman's just doing his job. Yeah, they should suspend his ass. You're wrong about that, Davante. Big O, that kid was in an all-out sprint, which is why he flew back. Leverage. That camera guy, that poor guy, was just wrong place, wrong time. Poor guy. I'm looking at it again. God. It's so bad. He wasn't, the guy wasn't even looking at Davante. You know that? He wasn't even looking at Davante. He was just right there in the way. And Davante just pushed his ass down. I mean, it is wrong at every level. It's pretty gross. Pretty gross. Devontae should get suspended. He needs to get suspended. But we'll see what happens. Won't be shocked if he presses charges. Well, I hope he does. I hope he presses charges. You know? He probably should have stayed on the floor writhing in pain and all that. It's probably what that actually would have been the best thing. So that way these idiots, maybe, it sends a message to some of them. That probably would have been the best thing. If he was quick thinking, he lands on the ground, he writhes in pain. Oh my God, this, that, whatever. And then he sues the crap out of him for pushing him for no reason at all. I like that. I like that. That would have been a good move, actually. It's not something I would have done because that's not really my style, but yeah. Yeah. That's I really would not have wanted to be in that position. That would not have been fun for a hothead like me. I would have gotten in some serious trouble there. Big time. Let's see, what else do we have here that I wanted to share with you all. So yes, sir.
I was going to say, according to TMZ Sports, this was about an hour ago. The photographer shoved to the ground by Davante Adams after the Raiders-Chiefs Monday Night Football game has officially filed a police report against the NFL star.
Good. 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 Okay. Good. I like it. Good. That is beautiful. That is absolutely fantastic. Good for him, man. Good for him. So the Lions dropped to 1-4. And listen, we've talked about this subject has been something we've all talked about. Dan Campbell is a super, super likable guy. Do I want to have a beer with Dan Campbell? Yeah. Do I want to shoot the shit with Dan Campbell? Yeah. Do I want to talk football with him at a bar? Yeah. Do I want him as my head coach? Hells to the no. And I still remember the Dan Campbell interimship that was going on here. And I remember, going back and forth with Dolphin fans and pissing them off. Because remember, he started off really well. The first two games, they ran the ball. They blew teams out. I forgot what the scores were, but they played their asses off. Right. And then after, the crap hit the fan and all that stuff, and happens what happens with him. And he's a raw guy. I saw this with Mike Tice. I saw this with Ray Sherman. I saw this with, think of some of these raw guys that I don't think brought any X's and O's substance to it. But in the end, you can have all the speeches you want. That shit doesn't fly. The speech works when your coaching works. The inspirational speech will lift a player up if you're also lifting them up with the game plan, if you're lifting them up with the scheme, if they're having success. Josh McDaniel will struggle to sell more and more as the season goes on if the losses pile up. You just got your ass kicked 29-0. DeMondre Stevenson had 170 yards in that game. They had a defensive touchdown. They dominated. Zappe didn't do anything. I think he threw a touchdown, an interception or something, and 180 yards or something. He was pedestrian. Didn't do anything. But he didn't have to because they controlled everything with their defense and their running game. And you got handled. So here's Dan Campbell. You got to hear this.
To me, it's about as bad as it gets. I mean, this is the worst. This is where we're at, and sometimes it's going to get bad before it gets better. And I believe we hit rock bottom. So now the only place to go is back up. And look, we're going to get some guys back. I got to look at everything top to bottom, which I had time to do for the bye. And look, I've seen it too many times. I've been in this league too long as a player and a coach, and I've seen teams that started out rocky and it's doom and gloom, and all of a sudden they win one, and then they win the next one, and then they win the next one. So it's what I told them, and I said, all you got to do is win the first one. When we come back, everybody's got to look in the mirror over the break. How do you get better individually, just like I'm going to do, and we find a way to win the next one. Just win the next one out of the bye, and then take the next one as it comes. That's all you can do.
You got to teach them how to win. Problem is, you can't teach them how to win. And they know that. And now they know. And after a 29-0 ass kicking, and now you got to sit on that for a week. And this whole thing about, I've been on teams that won, and then you take off. You're the Detroit Lions. You don't know how to do that. You never have. And neither have you as a coach. These raw guys, it does not ever work. It just doesn't. You got to know how to coach and scheme your ass out of it. Say what you want about the Dolphins, right? You look at the score, was it 40-17 or whatever the hell it was, right? Was it 40-17, right? It looks terrible. And 29-0 is, basically almost the same amount of points that you lost, right? What, 23-29, right? But that was a domination, whereas Miami's game was tight through three quarters. It was anybody's game through three quarters. It was lost in one quarter where catastrophic mistakes were made and they capitalized and they won. It wasn't like they were, oh my God, like my boy Cam on Sunday when he came on, he made it sound like it was an ass kicking, and it wasn't an ass kicking. It was just an absolute disaster in the fourth quarter. Yeah, but not the whole game. They were right there. And that's where, if you're a Lions player, you got to look at yourself, go, these guys don't have the answers for us. And I'm telling you that I would not be surprised if there's some changes in that coaching staff during the season, even during this bye week for them. I wouldn't be surprised. And I mean by that, it's probably not even Campbell wanting to fire somebody, but maybe somebody above saying, yeah, you need to shake something up here. There's a season that's done 1-4. Dougie Fresh says, here's my rah speech. Rah Dan Campbell. Dan irons, sharpens iron. It's dark before the dawn. Do or not do. There is not try. So keep your feet on the ground and reach for the stars. That's it. All the cliches. Load up on the cliches. Cliches can only carry you so long. Amen to that, my friend. Amen to that. Some coaches are great as defensive coordinators or offensive coordinators, but lousy as head coaches. Yeah. And Dan Campbell is not even a coordinator. Okay? He's a position coach. He's not even a great coordinator. Think about that one. So if you're going to beat somebody and teach them X's and O's, shouldn't you know X's and O's? Defensively, offensively, shouldn't you be an X's and O's like guru? Right? It's not really what he is. He's really been known as a position coach. But this is, these are the things you do. No go protocol, Dan. No moral victories. I think Tua will be back for the Steelers game. I think Tua will not play Sunday. Well, thank you, Irving. Appreciate you, man. We got all the news there. We don't need any more. So Irving said what's going to happen. You know, when Irving chimes in, it's over. Done. By the way, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. We're at 191 likes. We got 469 people. It's always a great number watching right now. So thank you. We like doing something called the lockdown segment. And in the lockdown segment, we give you our picks of the night. And last night was a successful one. Let's go over our ALennyLocksmith.com lockdown segment.
Time to lock it down. The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Services in South Florida from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, ALennyLocksmith.com locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Here's the Big O to tell you what needs to be locked down.
Last night, we told you to go over 52 Raiders and KC. First couple of minutes, right? They weren't necessarily scoring. And then it exploded and it continued, and they got 30-29, which, if you do the math, that is 59 points combined. So we made it over 52 like we wanted. So we won in our ALennyLocksmith.com lockdown segment. We are now 40, 31, and 3, 9 games over 500 during this streak. No football today. We're going to go baseball. During this streak, we've picked soccer, baseball, basketball, football, you name it. Have we picked basketball? No, not basketball. Not yet. Not yet. Not during this streak. I don't think we have basketball. That's the only one we need to add. We will. Eventually, we will. But tonight, we're going to go baseball. We got the Phillies and the Braves tonight. The Braves are favored in the money line, minus 200. The Phillies are plus 170. The over and under is 7 runs. And the Braves favored by 1.5 runs. It's plus 110. I like that one. I'm going to go Braves minus 1.5 runs. I think they can eke it out by 2 or more runs here in this one. Why? Max Fried is on the mound for the Braves. He's 2-2 against Philadelphia. He's got a 14-7 record and a 2.48 ERA and pitching well. Ranger Suarez has been a little up and down lately, had a really bad outing his last outing, but this year he's 1-3 against the Atlanta Braves. He's 10-7 with a 3.65 ERA, which is a good record overall, not 14-7 and a 2.48, but it's good. Fried is a better pitcher. Atlanta's a better team. I think Atlanta's got the better offense. Plus, it's plus 110. Minus 1.5. I like that also. So I like the Braves' chances here to pick up game 1 here against Philly. I'm going Braves minus 1.5 runs in our ALennyLocksmith.com lockdown segment.
The Lockdown is brought to you by ALennyLocksmith.com. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming. All model cars. 24-hour service. Call them anywhere in South Florida at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at ALennyLocksmith.com where we lock it down.
Martina Davies says Lions have some good young talent as building blocks for a good team, but they now need a head coach who knows how to win and a QB in next year's draft. Yeah, they definitely need a QB. Jared Goff is not the guy, and definitely they need a head coach. You know, that guy's an assistant coach, a position coach. He has no business being a head coach, none whatsoever. But what are you gonna do, man? You know, it is what it is. You know what? If you're a Lions fan, you should grab that 10th anniversary there of Perdomo and chill out and relax. That would be a perfect thing. By the way, have go to your nearest cigar shop and check it out. Check out the 10th anniversary. Check out the 20th anniversary. I mean, there are so many great Perdomo cigars. That's why I want you to go down there, check out your nearest cigar shop. Or, by the way, I don't know if any of you have been to the Perdomo factory, and it's at 5150 Northwest 167th Street, right off of the Palmetto in Miami Gardens. For those of you that are coming into town and visiting the Dolphins and you come in early, if you're a cigar smoker, man, you might run into Nick Perdomo there. And he'll take a picture with you. He's a really cool guy. You're going to love it. They got a giant, beautiful humidor there with all the cigars there. The Estate Selección vintage, you name it, the double age, 12-year vintage, which is just an absolutely beautiful cigar. I told you about the 20th anniversary and the 10th anniversary cigars. The Lot 23 also incredibly affordable. Check it out, folks. Go there. They've got the full line of Perdomo cigars. They've got a beautiful lounge, a ginormous leather couch that I think easily 25 people will fit on that couch. That's how ginormous that couch is. So go check it out, man. 5150 Northwest 167th Street, Perdomo Cigars, and tell them that Big O sent you. Big O, do you have a standard bet amount or do you vary it? I do. I vary it. If I really like a game, then I might put a couple more bucks on something. Yeah. Yeah, if I feel really good about it, yeah, definitely. I will do that. All right, let's take a quick break. Hour number 3 is next right here on the Big O Radio Show.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Welcome back. Thank you all as always. Appreciate you. Christopher Henry says, holy cow, the spotter was a hometown trainer. It's what's being reported. Yeah, well, whatever. Who reported it, by the way? Do we know? Because, as you all know, the rule is don't really believe what is put on by the listeners, because more often than not, the listeners don't really follow real sources, and they usually are not reliable. You gotta watch out with that. So we always have to double check what the listeners say, because a lot of you, repeat stuff that are Facebook facts instead. That's what goes on. But I don't know. I've heard a second person already mention about the spotter being a person that was a local person. Again, don't know if it's true or not. Have no idea. But if it is, I'm not surprised that the NFL would end up doing stupid and irresponsible things when it comes to all of that stuff. But if you do have the link on somebody legitimate reporting that, pass it on to me, okay? Because I definitely would love to see who's reporting it and if it's true, because it is kind of funny, I gotta say. Anyway, do you have that news at all, Sean, by the way, on the spotter? If it's true that what they're saying, if it's a legitimate person reporting?
I'm trying to verify right now.
Yeah, because I don't see anything in like legitimate headlines anywhere or anything like that. So I got to see it from somebody. Okay. Before I actually believe it. It's got to be a Rappaport or a Pelissero or a Schefter. Somebody's got to be reporting that. And that's the problem, Then I will believe it. But I need somebody legitimate. So there you go. Anyway, if you want to get in on the Welt and Rayom text line, 855-912-1056. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm not sure, but on NFL.com, I looked up athletic trainers and things like that. What it is, there's a program called
Spotter.
ATC Spotters. Yeah.
Right.
And those are independent certified athletic trainers, serve as another set of eyes, watching for possible injuries at every NFL game. ATC spotters may be used in medical timeout to stop the game, to remove a player for medical examinations. Teams aren't charged for timeouts if an ATC spotter stops the game.
Okay. Yeah, but that has nothing to do with what they're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't state that it was a hometown spotter. I'll keep looking and try and see dig some more.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked at Rap Sheet and I looked at Pelissero and I saw nothing, whatever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but I think what they're doing is they're trying to read into this and then try to make out, because it says the ATC spotter must speak directly to the team physician, unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant, or head athletic trainer when reviewing a potential injury.
Okay. NFL Chief Medical Officer Dr. Alan Sills, speaking passionately on a Zoom, says all doctors involved with Tua operated with absolute integrity. The NFL is this is a disaster. That's all it is. Newfoundland says CMC to Buffalo would be dangerous. Damn, hope that doesn't happen. They got any O linemen to go after. Shaking my head. Maybe a DC. Cap for Life says breaking news. Big exclamation point, then question mark. It sounds believe able. Do I run with it? Question mark. Community needs to know, bro. Big O, just tuning in. Please don't tear me down for my question, but what do you think about Adam's incident last night? Rewind. That's what I think. Rewind. John Ross just posted rewind. Oh, man. You're awesome, John. For those of you complaining about Tua's availability, last year and this year, he's being held out of forces beyond his control by dumbass Flores last year and the overcautious protocol because of the optics this year. But he's ready to go. Last year and this year, he's tough as nails. Thank you for that text. I like that text. That got me excited. By the way, nobody has come up with that story and a credible source. Yet a couple of you that I saw on the chat board, which that means there are probably others because I don't see all the questions. I cannot see all the questions. There's too many coming in. Okay, so I don't see all the questions. But I saw from two of you reporting that the spotter was local, and yet nobody can find a credible source that reports that. But that's the problem, okay? There are no credible sources so far. I can't find it. While I'm talking to you, I keep looking for it, and there's nothing on credible people covering the NFL. Yet, this is this world. We have people, and then you repeat it, and then somebody else picks it up, and you all pick it up as fact, and it's not even a fact. But that's all right, bro. You know, it's all good. It's normal. It's what we hear from this world. You know, that's just normal. This is why when you guys say something, you'll see me go, you know, I don't trust you because you there's too many of you that you don't do any homework whatsoever. You're really lazy. You'll read the headline and then you think the story is the headline and you don't realize that the writer might be writing about something completely different. The person that makes a headline is not the writer. So the writer a lot of times gets pissed at their editors and their people because they wrote the wrong headline that goes with the story. Yet the headline is used for what? Bait click. And then you think it's this, but when you read the story, it's really not. But you went off the headline because you're lazy. So now these are lessons. It goes on. It's happened to me. And I stopped years ago believing listeners. Years ago, I stopped believing you guys. I have to go check it to make sure it's actually right because too many of you are misinformed. And too many of you repeat a lie. Like the 2020 election. And you keep thinking, oh, it was rigged. No, it wasn't. He lost like a dog. And that's just the way it is. Live with it, you know, but I get it. You're a sour ass. Your ass is raw from losing. You can't take it. Whatever, bro. Get used to it. We vote in bad presidents all the time. It's what we do. But hey, keep repeating a lie. You'll believe it. You'll be stupid enough to believe it. It's all good. Teddy can't practice till Thursday because he's in concussion protocol and he never had a concussion. Did he say I don't remember that. Did the coach said Teddy wasn't practicing till Thursday? I don't think he said that, did he? I know I saw the interview yesterday.
No, I don't remember those words.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. I don't remember that either. He'll be fine. He'll play this week. I'm not even
But also,
concerned.
they're off today.
No, I know that.
And then
Right.
tomorrow is just the meetings thing again because they got the early what you call it again, locker room.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
So I think they're on like revised. So maybe that's why he said he'll practice Thursday because they don't really have anything planned for the next couple days.
Right. Right. Real 0305 says the sound of the coach. I believe Tua will be back this Sunday. I would love Real if you want. Thursday, I'll be at Hialeah Park. Friday, I'll be at Acura Pembroke Pines. Saturday, I'll be at Walk-Ons. Real 305, since you are in the 305, supposedly, bring all the money you got that you want to bet, and I'd love to take your money because, with that, I'll buy whatever you want to bet. I'll buy it in Bitcoin because that's what I'm going to do. It's such a low price right now. I'll just load up on Bitcoin. So if you want to give me money, come on over. I'd love to bet, but you got to bring the money. Okay. We'll get somebody independent to hold my cash and yours, but I'll bet you anything you want that Tua's not playing this week. Anything you want that Tua's not playing. So Rio 305, I would love to take your money. Love it, bro. I'd love the confidence you have. So bring that confidence over to Hialeah Park on Thursday, or Acura on Friday, or Walk-Ons on Saturday. I make plenty of appearances during the week. I can be easily found. So come on out, bring the money. Let's bet, baby. I would love to take your money. Tua has no shot at playing this week. No. He's playing next week. Been saying it for a week and a half now. You'll see. Orlando, 100% true. Look it up. We've been looking it up. You look it up. You send me the source, Cap for Life. You send me the source. Okay? At the moment, I don't believe a damn thing you guys say when it comes to news. Ever. Don't believe anything you guys ever say when it comes to news. I would have to literally know you. Okay? I would have to literally know you. Like let's say I know Lisa. I know John Rouse. There are a couple of you listeners that I know you personally, and I can trust you. But most of you that I don't really know personally, like Dougie Fresh, I haven't met Dougie Fresh personally, but I've had enough interaction with Dougie that I think if he sends me something, he saw it from a legitimate source. I would gamble with Dougie Fresh. But most of you, no shot. No shot I would believe any kind of news coming from you guys at all. So until I see it, Sean's been looking for it and he can't find it. There's not a legitimate news source that is reporting that about the spotters. Zero. It's all Facebook fact is what it looks like. No, it's 100% accurate about the concussion protocol. Oh, you talk about Thursday for Teddy? Well, I don't know about that. We'll see. I have to listen to it again to see if he did say Thursday. I don't remember him saying that.
No, I think what the wording is for concussions is they can't practice till the end of the week that they get out of
I see.
protocol.
I see what
that
you're
would
saying.
be Thursday is what they're saying.
Okay. All right. Anyway, what are you missing? Just Wednesday's practice? That's not a big deal. And not for him as a veteran. I'm not that worried about that with it. And he's been there all camp and he has got the timing with those guys pretty much. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. He is what he is, dude. He's just gonna manage a game. That's all. Hey, can you send Shad Joe there a reminder? What the hell's going on? He's on Cuban time. Because Shad Joe or Joe Shad, but on Twitter. He's supposed to be joining us now. He's on Cuban time right now, is what he's doing. Boy, we affect everybody in it.
Did you send him or are we sending him?
I sent him one, but send him one again, I guess. I don't know. I sent him one. Just because Mr. Magoo was a spotter in the Jets game doesn't mean we should question the NFL. All right. Joe Shadriguez is ready to go. He's been affected by Cubans. There's no doubt about that. Look at that. He's checking in at 12:23, 8 minutes late. He is definitely affected by us Cubans. We have just polluted his world now. How about that? Poor Joe. Joe will never be on time to anything again. But let's get to the hijinks with Joe Shad and the hijinkssportsgrill.com Miami Dolphins report.
Dolphins fans, it's time to talk to the man with incredibly high standards. It's not easy to score an A or grade 10 out of 10 with this guy. In fact, he isn't impressed with Joey Chestnut's dominance, Usain Bolt's speed, or even Van Ginkel's locks. Will the hijinks continue? Can the Miami Dolphins do the impossible by getting a passing grade with Joe Shad? It's time for the Hijinks Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Report. This report is brought to you by Hijinks Sports Grill in Boca at 133 Southeast Meisner Boulevard. Enjoy happy hour 4 to 7 p.m. Reserve a VIP table online and receive one free sparkling wine. Follow them on Instagram at Hijinks Sports Grill. Here's Miami Dolphins insider Joe Shad.
There he is, locked and loaded. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
What's up, Big O? Doing good. Yeah, had a little.
Has the spotter cleared you for this segment?
Yeah, I'm hoping to return to Miami Gardens as soon as next Wednesday. So we'll see.
You'll be back for Tua.
I'll be back for Tua. Be back for Brian Flores week.
Right.
That's the hope and the goal. But of course, Byron Jones had a plan too, and that hasn't worked out just yet.
Oh, yeah, no, but I didn't predict that Brian Jones was coming back next week. I predicted that Tua was coming back next week 2 weeks ago. So, it's all right. It's all good. I mean, Joe, for me, this whole thing is just a bunch of bullshit. I just find this all crap and window dressing for the NFL, and now we got the news media stuck in this whole mess, and you're ruining a game now. The game is physical, dude. People are going to suffer concussions. Shit's going to happen. Bones are going to break. That's the way it goes. You're not going to make this game safe. And if they start pulling what they're pulling now over the last weekend and what you saw last night, now you're going to change the outcome of games. Players aren't going to meet incentives. They're not going to be able to break records. They're not going to be able to win some games. They're not going to qualify for playoffs. They're going to be eliminated because they got, look at this past week. Teddy had no reason to be taken out of that game. So from the second play on, the Dolphins had to play with their third string quarterback because of the NFL's incompetence. And this is only going to create a bigger problem for the NFL. This thing of trying to make it safe, you're not going to make this game safe, dude. Never.
So the question is, do I think the game can ever be safe? No, of course it can't be. No, it's a violent sport. The NFL did unquestionably react to the onslaught of criticism in the wake of Tua Tagovailoa being reinserted into the game after a clear and obvious stumble. What's unfortunate is that Teddy Bridgewater was removed from the game after one play, despite no clear and obvious stumble. Now, our Hal Habib, I know you're a big fan of his. He's an excellent veteran scribe. He has, for a couple of days, been asking the NFL for a clarification on what the spotters saw. And that's going to be a pool report that we're expecting to get from the NFL. We'll pass that along to your listeners and to our readers as soon as we get it. But I think this is a little bit of an overreaction, and I think
You think?
eventually, well, no, but what I'm telling you is, I think like anything else, whether it's pass interference or roughing, eventually the pendulum will swing back a little towards more normalcy. I think unless the player has a clear and obvious loss of motor skills, the spotter shouldn't rule the player out of the game. He should just say, hey, listen, the doctors, you guys check him out. Take him out of the game, check him out. And then see if he clears the protocol. It seems like an easy fix, and that's probably where we're going to go. The spotter doesn't have to say, that's ataxia, he's out for the game. The spotter just has to say, I'm concerned about the hit he took. Let's check him out. They check him out on the sideline. They check him out in the locker room. And, those doctors are also allowed to review the video. So, I didn't realize the role that the spotter was going to have in all this. So I think the NFL will make a change on that.
Well, they better make a change, because you're going to cause some problems. Yesterday, dude, that was a turning point in the game on that Chris Jones play. And all of a sudden, you call that cheesy ass foul. That was a turnover. And you call that's
it should be reviewable. Yeah, so that's another easy fix that Sean Payton and others have obviously pointed out. Let's just go ahead and make all roughing the passer penalties reviewable and challengeable. So let's do that.
Well, here's the other thing. So let's say you wobble a little bit, but you get your senses back. And, for whatever reason, I mean, dude, any of us that have fallen in playing sports or whatever,
it's a different time.
It's not a different time, my brother.
No, it is. We're trying to protect these players.
No, it isn't.
They're doing the autopsies. They're doing the autopsies on these guys. And what do they have? They have tons of brain damage. All right. Let's try to limit. That's what they chose. But we're trying to limit the repeat head trauma. We're trying to allow these guys to heal. All right. So in general, you got to support that, man. You can't be against allowing brains to heal. That can't be the hill you die on. That can't be the hill you die on.
So why isn't the media doing the same thing in the MMA and UFC and boxing, my man? Because I get it.
There are people who think UFC is disgusting and ridiculous. Well, no,
right, because it doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter. That's why. Because it's so far down on the totem pole that
years ago
cared.
football was banned. Football was banned because it was too violent, right? And then they made some rules changes, and so it's constantly evolving.
When was football banned?
Or they tried to ban it, or whatever. I don't know. Back in the day,
I never heard that. When was football
I'll look it
banned?
up. Well, no. Or they tried, or the government tried. But let me look it up while we talk. Go ahead.
Okay. No, but I'm just saying the disgust of the media and the overreaction. And while there's a standing 8 count in boxing or MMA, you think there aren't concussions being happening right there inside the ring constantly? Yeah. And they shake them off and they get back in there and they win fights. You know what I'm saying? So my problem with all of this is these players chose this. They know exactly the pains that they're going through. They know exactly what you're going to sacrifice by being a paratrooper for your life in the Army. Your body is going to suffer because of that. If you're going to be a coal miner, you're going to suffer in the end because of that. These are things that come with the territory. You cannot alter the game to a point. Unfortunately, part of it is that you are going to alter your life. That's just kind of what it is. If you do this, you now take away from the game itself, and it's not the game anymore. What we watched last night and what we're watching over the last weekend and a half, it's not football anymore. You're going to kill the sport. Part of the amazing part of that sport is that they put up with that kind of punishment, that
All
they
right, listen,
deliver
I
that
found.
kind of punishment.
All right,
Go ahead.
listen. This has to do with former U.S. President Teddy Roosevelt. We're
Oh
going
my
back over 100 years. So in the early 1900s, in 1903, 25 players died from football injuries. In
Yes.
1905, 18 more died. Former President Teddy Roosevelt threatened to abolish football due to its brutality and foul play. Listen to this.
Yeah, it's called leather helmets, bro.
There
Leather
were no
helmets.
rules. Listen to this. Back in 1903, there were no. Here are the things you could do. You could kick, knee, and Dominic Sue would love this. You can kick, knee, face stomp, dirt fling, hair pull, and windmill.
Also, the cop from The Replacements.
You can
was
also
playing in
sink.
that league.
You're allowed to sink your teeth into the legs at the bottom of the pile. Now,
Oh, Mike Tyson's type of game.
There are
Awesome.
players in today's game who are accused of nefarious tactics. Our own Christian Wilkins was accused by Josh Allen of a naughty act in a recent game, and he was in fact fined. That was, I believe,
got
under
you.
appeal.
But you're really
Anyway.
not but you're really not defending your point whatsoever.
No,
with
I'm
what
talking
you
about
just
how the
found.
game is safer
Okay.
now. And
Okay.
I'm talking about how the game is safer now. Rules changes to make the game safer are always going to happen. You know those Guardian helmets, that the foam things or whatever, the
Yes.
linemen or where?
Yes.
Would you be surprised if at some point in the next 10 years, all linemen are required to wear those things?
I don't mind that.
Okay.
I don't mind that. That's equipment. But, Chris Jones landing on the quarterback like he did last night, that's normal, dude.
No, obviously.
That's part of the game.
Obviously, that was a bad call. No, listen, there are bad calls.
Well, no, but those are game altering calls. What you did to the Dolphins this week was game altering. Once you pulled Teddy when you didn't have to pull Teddy, when he showed no signs of it, but because you're playing a PR game with the public and the news media, you now are putting your game at risk. The players, the coaches now work so hard that now they can be taken a game. Dude, that game was a tight game for 3 quarters. They lost it in 1 quarter. They lost it. And if they have Teddy Bridgewater in that quarter, maybe they don't have some of those turnovers. Maybe they even win that game with Teddy Bridgewater in there. And why? No, this is not football.
All right, listen, you're right. You're right. And look, Teddy's probably going to be on the practice field Thursday and available to start Sunday. Okay, so we like that. And yes. Skylar Thompson is a competent backup even at this point in his career. So, Dolphins will have a chance against the Vikings at home. Listen, we talk a lot about the quarterback. We talk a lot about concussions, understandably. But I do want to point something out that I've been thinking a lot about that's bothering me. All right? No sacks from these guys. Where are the sacks?
Terrible.
Right, 9 sacks in 5 games. That ranks 24th in the league.
Yep.
Big O, with Jalen Phillips, Melvin Ingram, Christian Wilkins, Zach Sealer, Jerome Baker, safeties who blitz better than anybody.
And Agba.
And Agba. Where's Agba? Listen, have we mentioned Emmanuel Agba in 5 games? Listen.
No. Listen, I give them a little bit of a break because I know that without the corners, it creates an imbalance, and I understand that. But you are 1,000% right. You're 1,000% right.
Where's Emmanuel Agba? Listen,
you're right.
Now, Raekwon Davis, unfortunately, it was a penalty. We need more of those Raekwon Davis plays where he just kicks the crap out of a guy. All right.
Yeah.
And now I think that was going to be his first career sack. All right.
Blows it up.
So that's not his strength, but we need some more ass kicking in the trenches. All right. It's not happening. The Dolphins are 30th in quarterback pressure and 31st in quarterback knockdowns. All right. What happened to our identity is fearless? Our identity is, toughness, physical play, attack the quarterback.
Did you check the rankings on ball release of opposing quarterbacks against the Dolphins?
I know they're getting rid of it quick, but let me ask you this: with Brian Flores coming to town, it's going to come up.
I love how you just went over that. And I know they're getting rid of it quick.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. That's a factor. But listen, Brian Flores is coming to town. All right, in less than 2 weeks. even though you didn't like him as a head coach, do you think there's a chance that he was good at defensive scheme?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So that could be a factor here.
Joe, how many coaches are good coordinators and they suck as head coaches? There's a shit ton of those kind of guys. And by the way, he's not a coordinator right now. He's just a linebackers coach. So he doesn't call the defense or anything like that. So when Tua plays against him in 2 weeks, he'll make sure to dump it off to a lot of backs and to the tight ends and in the slot to just burn the linebackers. So he's gonna work those linebackers in 2 weeks. You'll
Steelers
see.
got good linebackers too. Yeah, they got
I hope they're good in coverage. I hope they're good in coverage. I know they're good at passing, pass rushing, but are they good in coverage? Is the question? You know.
I wanted to tell everyone to follow me on Instagram at Shadjo SCHA. I'm trying to build my Instagram audience. I've been posting a lot on there. All right.
Well, you need to go to Hijinks, take some pictures with some of the babes at Hijinks, and post them on Instagram and say, "Hey, come taste the chicken wings." And you have a babe next to you, and yeah, you'll be showing chicken wings, but they'll be looking at the babe, and so then you'll get more Instagram hits, and then it starts to get around. Hey, have you seen Joe's account? He's got all these babes from Hijinks on, because as and I know, Hijinks is loaded with all kinds of babes.
If I'm cleared to drive next Wednesday, October 19th, I think I'm going to go to Hijinks in Boca, get the sriracha honey wings on Friday, October 21st. Maybe I will do the Big O segment from there. And maybe I'll be feeling good enough to appear on camera, which I know your audience has been clamoring for.
Yes. And he's recovering from eye surgery.
Thank you. Yeah.
So you'll know that's why he hasn't been on camera. Okay. So, that's the man will recover soon, and then we'll get his pretty face back on the tube.
I got about 65% vision in my left eye at this time. So some might say that if I were a gladiator, I would return. If I was a professional football player, I would have already returned.
Right.
But
I just what I'd like to see is the media start now going after all the other dangerous sports where they risk their lives and suffer injuries.
Well, we got rid of like dog track, right? Wasn't that a thing? Greyhound racing. Greyhound.
That's animals, Joe. I'm talking about human beings.
Listen,
I'm talking about. We tell a fireman for a lot less money, hey, go into that burning building and carry that 180-pound body down 4 flights of steps.
I know.
And here's your $40,000 a year. Have fun.
But sometimes we care more about animals than human beings. So the idea of looking out for the health and well-being of professional football players in general, I'm going to be okay with that.
Well, I'm guilty. I care about my 5 dogs more than most human beings. So sorry.
People do, I like my dog, but I don't get the idea that some people, equate dogs to humans. Like, equal.
Oh,
I don't
they're
know.
my 5 kids. They're not right there with my daughter, but they're like my kids, dude. Yeah, no.
Wow.
We worry about them like they're our kids. Oh yeah,
Okay.
dude. Yes. I love my dogs. Oh man, I
like dogs, but I just don't.
I love dogs. I love dogs. Love hanging out with my dogs. Love having dogs around. I just think dogs make your lives a lot better. They bring a lot to a family. I think they bring families together. Obviously, great for protection purposes. I've got 2 big ones that will eat people alive if they get close to the house. And then I got 3.
Tua's got big
we
dogs.
We got little ones also that are the best alarms that there are in the world are little dogs. Boy, they sense anybody. By the time you get to the sidewalk, my little dogs are already barking. They are the
Dolphins.
best.
Speaking of dogs, the Dolphins need some dogs on defense to step up, whether it's Javon Holland, Jalen Phillips. I love Jalen. All right, Emmanuel Ogba. Where's the dog? Where's the dog in Ogba?
You got your money, bro. Let's go. You were chasing your money. You got your money. Now chase some sacks. That's what he's got to do. And listen, that is fair criticism on the D line. I know that this defense will not be what you want it to be until you get the corners back. Then that'll bring more balance, and I'm sure the sacks will start coming even faster. But you're right. Overall, they've got to do a better job. Now, teams, if you go look at it, they are getting rid of the ball pretty fast because they know that they can't sit there with the football. So, it's something that I would like Tua to learn.
Byron Jones is not going to practice this week. He's not going to play this week. That's 6
Right.
games. All right. He's going to miss probably 3 more after that. That's 9. So, you're hoping the guy comes back for like the last 6 games. And you're hoping. I mean, with the Achilles area injury, I don't know the details of the injury, lower leg Achilles area, disappointing, man.
It is. It's very disappointing. Who comes back this week out of the injured people? Who do you think? What's your gut tell you?
Well, Teddy Bridgewater, I think he'll play unless there's
Me too.
something, I don't know about. Austin Jackson, I think he's got a chance to play at right tackle. Then you can move Greg Little left tackle because Little was not good at right tackle. He's more comfortable at left tackle. Brandon Shell was not good at left tackle. Hard to blame the guy. He was elevated Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I think Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle should be okay, even though you have to wonder if they were a little affected by their injuries. They were all injured. Dolphins got a lot of injuries. Everybody's got injuries, but Dolphins got some bad ones, like really bad ones. And, Xavier's got to be, 50-50. We knew that with 2 badly injured groins that it was going to be hard for him to play. So, typically he misses 1, maybe 2. So,
Well, it's kind of like, the people that complain about, he's injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, let's say he misses 2 games and he comes back for Pittsburgh and he missed a couple games last year and he missed a couple games the year before. So let's say he averages 2 games a year. So
okay.
would you take if he's playing the way he played the first month here, first 3 weeks, would you take the guy that is going to miss 2 games a year but play the way he played the first 3 weeks, or the field that you've had for the last 20 years? So
no, that'd be fine. Yeah, it's like with Ron Armstead.
Right, because some guy goes to me, they got to go find a quarterback next year. And I go, okay, so you want to go find a quarterback. So how's that gone on for 20 years? So go look at everybody you have found for 20 years and compare them to Tua. Are you sure you want to just dump on Tua and go out and find? That's what I love, how people don't live in reality. And then it's like, well, wait a minute. It was John Beck and Pat White and Jay Cutler. And, Tua's way better than anything you've had for 20 years. And if he's injury prone that he's going to miss 2 games a year. So do you take Tua for 15, or do you take John Beck and Pat White and Pennington and any of the crap that you've had for 20 years? You know what I'm saying?
And it's just so disappointing that we didn't get a chance to watch Teddy play more than 1 play.
I agree.
He's a highly competent NFL backup. Obviously, there are some coaches, current and former, who think that the offense would be at least as successful with Teddy playing. I don't know that to be the case. I don't think she'll be quite as good. But they would have had a better chance to win last week for sure.
Well, I at least I like that you have the common sense, unlike those other people who think that you're not going to miss a beat with Teddy, which is
the Skylar Thompson
silly
drum beats. The Skylar Thompson drum beat slowed pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, that was also stupid. But I try to warn people about that stupidity. But the backup quarterback always becomes like Mr. Freaking Popular, just like you, Joe Shad. He'll be back on Friday with more hijinks in our Hijinks Sports Grill Miami Dolphins report. Make sure you visit the folks in Boca at hijinkssportsgrill.com. And I got to tell you, it is probably the best looking sports bar in South Florida. The ladies there
and the food is good.
The food. Well, I haven't tried the food, but Joe tells you all the time. I'm dying to go up there. Maybe one day we'll do a show up there at Hijinks and try the food. But Joe swears by it, man. And he loves his wings out there. So go check out hijinkssportsgrill.com if you're in the Boca area. Joe, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
See you, bud.
You got it. Follow him on Twitter at Shad Joe. and catch his work there at the Palm Beach Post. Make sure you subscribe. Enough of the hijinks.
This has been the Hijinks Sports Grill Miami Dolphins Report with Joe Shad. This report is brought to you by Hijinks Sports Grill in Boca at 133 Southeast Meisner Boulevard. Enjoy happy hour from 4 to 7 p.m. Reserve a VIP table online and receive 1 free sparkling wine. Follow them on Instagram at Hijinks Sports Grill.
All right. Thank you all, as always, for tuning in. Appreciate you. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? When sports and business collide, we like doing something here that most people, they'd have some trouble trying to find a proper segment to honor it, but we don't, because sports and business always collide, and when they do, you get the KSDT CPA Sports Business Report. All right. So, the NFL expansion. We've talked about this a lot over the years. One of the things that I have always floated, I've always floated about, multiple bye weeks to accommodate Thursday teams and teams that go to London, right? And then when we've talked about having a London team, I've always said that that's not going to work. You got to have a European division. That way teams fly over, stay a couple of weeks, visit a couple teams. And I've always talked about this. You build a neutral practice facility in Europe. Okay, so that way the visiting team or teams, because there's going to be multiple teams out there, they can use that practice facility during the week. Okay, and there's several locations you can do in Europe within, close to each other. So Roger Goodell finally has said something along the lines of what I've talked about now for many years. The NFL visits London all the time, right? Well, would they add a team? Well, prior to the Giants' 27-20 win over the Packers at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says London could support full-time teams. He says, I think there's no question that London could support not just one franchise, I think 2 franchises. I really believe that, which is true. You could put another one in Paris, another one in Barcelona if you want, or Madrid. It's all pretty close to each other, all that kind of stuff. Goodell said that while logistics present an obvious challenge, the greater question may be if a London-based team could be competitive with the rest of the league. And then the Vikings edged the Saints 28-25 October 2nd at Tottenham Hotspur, and the Denver Broncos will take on the Jags October 30th at Wembley. So there you go. So would they add? He says, we're trying to see, could you have multiple locations in Europe where you could have an NFL franchise? Because it would be easier as a division. It's interesting. And there are segments there. If you go back a year, 2 years, 2 years probably on YouTube, you'll see there are segments there that I talked about this kind of stuff. And that's what you have to do. You have to create a 4-division team, a 4-division segment, or a 4-team division in Europe is what you should do. I didn't think of 2 in England. I thought of only 1, like London, Paris, Barcelona, and I don't know, Frankfurt, Berlin, something like that. You do something like that. And then you have like I told you, you have 1 practice location for the visiting teams. You can have hotels nearby, all that kind of stuff. And then that way those teams can practice and then take on, then they stay there for a couple of weeks. They take on a couple of those teams, and then they fly back and they have a bye week, and boom. So what you do is you probably extend the season because once you add 4 teams to 32, Now you can also have a second bye week, and then, the less teams are off because you've now added 4 more now, to the entire bunch. But that's something that you could do. And if what's his name, Shad, not Joe Shad, but Shad Khan, right? Or right, is the Jaguars guy. If he doesn't get to build that whole complex that he wants to build with real estate and all that, because that's how he'll make more money back, because he's never going to really generate the revenue from the Jags in that area of the country compared to bigger cities and bigger places. So he's got this whole convoluted plan. I don't know if they're going forward with it in Jacksonville or not, but if they don't, that could be one of the teams you move to Europe. As much as Shad Khan has said that he doesn't want to move them. Yes, sir.
I have a question because I don't know that much about like soccer over here. Where's Fulham located, or Fulham, or
Tottenham Hotspur? You're talking about the stadium?
No, Fulham. There's a team called Fulham that Shad Khan owns.
Yeah, he owns a European soccer team. Yeah, I don't know exactly. I don't know the logistics of.
Well, would they be able to move the Jags to that area? I mean, is that
I don't know. That's a great question, but
he's already got it built in. I mean,
here's the problem: he would not control that part, and anything, he would like to move his team to Wembley.
That's okay.
So instead of Fulham, he's going to go to London. You know what I'm saying? So, you go to Birmingham, but no, I want to go to London,
Yeah, because he's already got the Fulham team there and all the facilities and the training and everything else there.
I get you.
It'd be a quick move. Whereas other teams, you're almost building from scratch up. He has almost at least some of the stuff there.
Yeah. Two Extremes just says, just leave football in the States only. Well, yeah, that's nice, bro. But you don't own the teams, and you don't you're not the one that makes any decisions. It's going to go international, whether you like it or not. It's the inevitable. Okay, live with it. I don't want the NFL global. I think it's a poor idea. NFL Europe failed. NFL Europe failed because you had NFL Europe talent, Derek. You didn't have NFL talent, dude.
Yeah, you weren't bringing over Aaron Rodgers to play some games, Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. The Barcelona Dragons aren't getting it done for you, dude. Come on, man. If you guys are going to make comparisons, make equal comparisons at least. Don't compare minor league football to NFL football. Come on, man. Big O, hijinks was my spot when I lived in Boca. Food is fantastic, especially the baked wings. The talent, all dimes, including Paige, a Finn's cheerleader. Well, dude, all you got to do is go to hijinks Instagram page. And yeah. You especially you single guys. I mean, the married guys, it's good for you guys because at least you go and your eyes wander a little bit and, whatever. You're not doing anything. You're just watching. But you single guys, just go to that Instagram page. You're like, wow, that's the best looking staff I've ever seen in my life. That kind of stuff. They should have instead an EFL ran by the NFL and the Super Bowl champs. And no, that's not going to happen. Yeah, I love how you guys are just selfish, and you just, oh, no, it's just ours, and I don't want to share. And maybe we could give them a minor league over there, and then they can have their minor league play our no. It'll get expanded. And these guys are greedy. They're going to want to expand the revenue. And how do you expand the revenue? You put teams in Europe so you can get the European people to really get behind the teams. Like they're fans of the teams here now, but they'll become even bigger fans, and you'll get a whole bunch of other ones when they have their own teams. So whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. Did I finish it? That's our KSDT CPA Sports Business Report.
This has been the KSDT Sports Business Report. KSDT CPA is one of South Florida's largest and one of the country's fastest growing accounting firms. KSDT is recognized by Forbes as one of the top tax and accounting firms for 2022. KSDT CPA is a full service firm that also excels in crypto. Visit online at ksdtcpa.com or call 305-670-3370.
There you go. And Nick says, heard the Jags are moving to Chicago as a second team. There you go. More Facebook facts. Just like the spotter was a loco guy. Yep, there you go. Just keep repeating it. It'll actually be like a true story that they're moving to Chicago as a second team. You know the city that actually can't figure out how to build its own stadium for the one team that they have? Yeah, that one. And they're going to bring in a second team. Lori Lightfoot is there like, we'll build a roof. We'll do this. No, stay here. Don't go to the suburbs. I don't think most of you actually like really follow the news and follow what's going on in the world. And I really don't. I can tell, it's entertaining as hell. I got to admit. It is. It's super entertaining, man. How misinformed so many of you are and how you just don't keep up with anything really going on in the world. And then you just repeat stuff that more misinformation that others are repeating and Facebook facts. Gotta love that, man. And there we go. 6193 having fun with it goes, heard Big O show is going to iHeartRadio full time. He goes, I follow the news closely. My Twitter will show you that, Big O. Fuhencha says Lori Lightfoot, and then he has a trash can next to it. Yeah, the leadership. Well, it's not just her. It's leadership all over the place is kind of weak. What are you going to do? All right, let's take a break. Give me 2 minutes. Hour number 4 starts right here on the Big O Radio Show.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Welcome to Red Light Therapy, a revolutionary technology perfected by NASA to aid in muscle strengthening and recovery. Red and infrared light has the capacity to penetrate deep into the cell's mitochondria, potentially leading to increased energy, faster recovery, and the optimal performance your body demands. Train, fight, recover.
When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Baby, and we talk about Red Recover all the time, and the doc is back. Dr. Sidral is back with redrecover.com. Doc, how you doing? Good afternoon, my friend. You doing all right?
Good afternoon. I'm doing very well. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Very good, very good. Before we get into a little bit of the Red Recover and red light therapy, I'm wondering, how much are you following what's going on in the NFL with the concussions and everything going on there? Have you been following much of that?
Yes. Pretty scary, right? I mean, it's a harsh sport, and the effects are there. I mean, the people should like we said, should do preventive therapies, not only when they have a problem, but they should keep, doing it.
Is there such thing for head trauma? Is
100%.
there such thing? What would that entail?
So there's a lot of very interesting studies out there already about the effects of red light therapy and infrared light therapy. We call that, specifically when you do it in your head, you call it transcranial photobiomodulation. And there is a lot of very high level studies looking at the benefits for not only concussion, but overall, neurodegenerative diseases for the brain. I myself did some studies back in the lab with animal models of concussion, looking at the effects of far infrared and also laser therapy.
So let me ask you, the hat that I have it downstairs now, but the hat I have, the Red Recover hat I have to help regenerate, my hair growth, but it also helps in blood flow and all those kind of things. So wearing that hat every day, besides the hair stuff, should I wear it because it benefits in what else that I do? Because now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah.
if it's also helping regenerate blood flow and all those kind of things, it's got to also be helping me in other ways. So besides the selfishness that we're trying to regrow our hair so we can look better, what are the other things that when I put that hat on every day for 15 minutes, what else is it doing for my brain?
So that hat was not specifically designed for brain therapy. It's more
Okay.
the way that we designed it is more to stay in the surface and treat your hair, but part of the light does penetrate into your brain for sure.
Okay.
And then the research has been showing a lot of effects on increased blood circulation, decrease in oxidative stress and inflammatory processes that happen in the brain. And more specifically, they have low level light therapy has been shown to have neuroprotective and also neuroregenerative effects. So if you not only after a concussion, but overall, there are specific areas in your brain that keep growing in terms of regenerating neuroplasticity. I think that you heard about those terms, and low level
Mhm.
light therapy helps with it.
Sure.
Well, maybe in our next podcast we could talk about brain health with light therapy.
Yeah, no,
That could be
and that's why I
interesting.
wanted to well, obviously, with everything going on right now, I wanted to kind of bring it up because
Yes.
obviously red light therapy can help in so many different ways. And obviously, Dr. Francisco Cedral has joined us, every month, and we've talked about scars, whether it's a scar from a surgery or an injury, how red light therapy can help heal that scar and possibly make it completely disappear, at times, how red light therapy can help with pain, with old injuries and operations that you may have. Also, when you look at the red light therapy, it's also great for workouts. So if you're going power walking or you're going to, play a little tennis or pickleball or whatever, or play football, like Hayden Hurst does, you want to optimize your workouts using red light therapy before and after. And Dr. Sidral, we've talked about so many benefits from growing hair to all that kind of stuff. Let's talk about some of our best friends. And I've got, several of them in my house, and they're called dogs. And we treat them like our kids,
Yes,
basically.
yes.
I know
We
we
love them.
do in our house that our dogs are basically our kids.
Yeah.
And one of the things for those of us that have owned dogs for a long time, we know that sometimes, just like ourselves, we end up developing ailments and wear and tear and those kind of things. And dogs, the same way, they develop some wear and tear also. And red light therapy, we have wraps that can help our dogs live much more comfortable lives.
Correct, correct. Well, red light therapy is very well known technique that has been used for by vets for rehab and also therapeutic purposes for quite some time. Actually, clinically applicable since the 90s for pain relief, inflammation, rehab after surgeries. It's very well known. And interesting enough, the dogs actually kind of like the therapy. For once, they have no, they only have two types of cones in their eyes, so they don't really discern red very well. It's like kind of a dark brownish gray for them, so it doesn't disturb them, and they feel very comfortable with the study, with the therapy. A lot of studies out there also showing the benefits for dogs, from osteoarthritis to arthritis-related pain and inflammation. In a study, in most of the studies, they say that more than 90% experience significant reduction of pain after just one therapy. It's
Right.
very effective and very fast. And there is another study that's looking at elbow arthritis, showing that there is 82% of the animals are able to reduce even their doses of painkiller drugs. So
Wow.
it's not only helping recover faster, but also reducing the medication that they have to take. So that's,
By the way, go ahead. I'm sorry, Doc. Go ahead.
no, if you see your dog, doing things that he was not doing anymore because of pain, because of arthritis, that makes us so happy, right? I mean,
Yeah. No, definitely. No, I'm with you. And by the way, you can go to redrecover.com and you can order any of the wraps, incredibly affordable too, on top of all of that. But you will get a 10% discount if you use our code Big O. So if you're looking for one for your shoulder, your neck, your back, your dog, you name it, the hat. The hat, by the way, email them where it says contact us, email them directly about the hat. And when it comes to dogs, this is on the website at redrecover.com. My small Yorkie has progressively worse hip and joint issues over the years, to the point where he wouldn't put weight on one of his back legs. Initially, I tried out CBD oils and other treatments with little to no help. Then I started using Red Recover unit 3 times daily as directed and saw great improvement within the first couple of days. He went from limping on 3 legs to running pain-free and has not limped since. Red Recover has helped my dog drastically, and I recommend it. Thank you, Red Recover. I've been using the small dog LED pad for my Corgi mixed dog. He has hip and joint pains, and this has really helped. He's more active than before and seems to be pain-free for the most part. The great thing about the pad is that it's designed to be used both from the front and back hips, and it's also able to be used on any part of the body, just 15 minutes a day, and it really improves the quality of life for my little Ollie, which is one of my dog's names, is Ollie also, by the way, and I highly recommend the product. So, the reviews are coming in.
Yeah.
Red light therapy is something that I think what we're doing here, Doc, every month and every day that I talk about it, I try to educate people because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing Sean, our producer, who has bone on one knee, and that's really hard to solve. But at least it's easing his pain, it's easing his discomfort, it's getting the blood flow going a little bit more, so he's able to use that knee a little bit more. My wife, she's been using it for her shoulder too at the same time, and that's kind of been easing her pain. So I've watched it firsthand work on people and actually growing back my hair and everything. So, there are so many benefits from it, but our dogs, they go through some issues as they get older, and red light therapy can really help out.
I don't have dogs. I have 2 cats. I
There you
don't
go.
use that specific, the way that is designed is more for the dogs, but I
Mhm.
do get the multi-purpose pad, and I treat my cats with it. And
Okay.
they love it. They,
Wow, okay.
there was one of them was having like some skin problems. I guess it was like kind of food allergies or something like that, and the hair was falling off. And then I started doing this, and it kind of stops. That's, by the way, that's the way that they first discovered about the effects of low level light therapy, because there was a study that was going on, and then they were trying to kill cancer cells that were introduced in a rat model to see the effects of high intensity laser. But then the effects were the hair started growing a lot more, and the researcher was like, "What's happening over here? It should be killing the cells and not increasing hair growth." And then he found out that his device was actually, instead of outputting high intensity, it was outputting low intensity, and then
Ah.
started increase the hair. So I use that for my cats, and from a perspective of a commercial standpoint, if you go to a vet and you do sessions for low level light therapy with lasers or LEDs, it's generally about $50, anywhere from $25 to $100 a session. And you need to do like 2 sessions a week that are recommended for at least like, a couple of months. So if you do like 3 months, imagine you're going to be spending $2,000 on
You know how
this.
many you know how many of those pads you can own? You
I
can own
know.
pads for the entire
And do it
family and
every
all
day.
joints, everything.
And
Yeah.
do it every day. I mean, the therapy,
Yes.
the way that if you have it, then you can treat him every day, and it's going to be a fraction of the cost of paying for,
I know. Yeah.
so it's
And
worth it.
convenient,
Worth it.
again, by the way, folks, you're not tied to some cable. It's remote. So it's a rechargeable battery. Look at it here. This is the rechargeable battery right here. And you charge the battery, and then you put it in the wrap, and you can walk around, you can
And the
cook, you
dogs
can
move
walk,
around the house. They
and the
love it.
dogs can move around too at the same time. Juice F5 has got a question for you, Doc. He says, "Oh, please ask the doc if there is harmful EMF in the red light, and how long will it take to see results?"
So the results can be seen very, very quickly. It's pretty common that if you have a case of pain modulation through low level light therapy, the effects are immediate. You can see the decrease, and then you keep treating, because something like this, you can use it if it is an acute phase, you can use it multiple times a day. Then, the effects are very, very fast. And EMF, I mean, it's a very small little battery there. You're
Yeah.
not hooked up to the outlet or anything like that. So that's a
Right.
very minimum, EMF.
Yeah, yeah. So again, no side effects, healthy for kids, healthy for pets, healthy for adults. That's the other thing. There are no drugs, no side effects, nothing's part of that. And I'm telling you because I see it firsthand, that it actually works. And it's one of those things that I get it. People are a little nervous. They don't they don't trust it early on because it's hard to understand. Well, wait a minute, these lights are going to make a difference. But once they start using it, and once they start feeling the difference, and they start feeling that the mobility is coming back and you're feeling good, that's when you know that red light therapy is working.
So when I started studying this like 15, 20 years ago, it was much more complicated to, you know, convince people that it was working. Nowadays, it's become common practice. I mean, everywhere you go, there's a level like therapy therapists, treatments and devices. They generally have like big panels that in
Right.
every gym. I mean, it's so commonplace. And when you look at the publications, you go into PubMed, which is a database of the National Library of Congress house there, but it's for the National Institutes of Health. You see more than 10,000 publications with light therapy, low level light therapy. So it's
All right.
so well validated that.
Well, Doc, you've got the questions coming in. Fulgencio Batista wants to know, Orlando, can you ask the doc if arthritis patients can use this therapy?
100%. There's a lot of studies there for arthritis. Now, remember, inflammation is one of the major events there, and inflammation is very well treated with low level light therapy.
There you go. Also, I tore my ACL and meniscus 3 times. When I work out, my knee is always sore. Would red light help the pain with the pain?
Absolutely.
There you
Absolutely.
go.
For pain and inflammation.
6193. There you go. Let's see. I'm in father. Where do I go for a red cap? Go to redrecover.com. Go to contact us, email them, and tell them that you want to get the Big O hat. Just put it like that. Hey, I want the Big O hat. And Ed and company will definitely get back
Send
to
one
you
over.
right away.
Oh, yes.
Big O, can I get red light in Medellin, Colombia? Yeah, Ed
Sure, why
will
not? We can ship it there.
Yes, of course we'll ship it to you in Colombia. Yes, definitely. And Willie, remember, when I visit Colombia, you got to take care of us. Okay,
Yeah.
when we go out there, have some fun. All right. Let's see what else. Big O, I totally messed up. Is there a universal wrap for at least a couple of parts of my body? I need one for ankle, shoulder, knee, neck, and back. Yes, Dan, I can. I don't even need the doc for that one. I've seen it. They have wraps for every part of the body: the ankle, the knees.
Yeah.
The good thing about the elbow is the knee. Am I right? Right? I'm right, right? The
It
elbow
fits
is
both.
the knee one.
Correct.
It fits
Yes.
both. Yeah. So the elbow and the knee are the same wraps, and then they have ankle wraps also. They have back and neck wraps. So yes, they have wraps for anything. Which pad can I use for my foot? I know
There
they
is
have
an
an
ankle.
ankle. There is a
Yeah.
foot one. There is
Well,
a
no,
foot
the
one.
ankle one, maybe you can twist a little bit, or you can use the universal
that's
pad.
right. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You twist the ankle one and you can make it a foot one. Again, reach out and contact us. There's questions there. If you have any other questions, send it to Ed and he'll definitely ask it. Steve says, Big O, I have a dog that gets very bad ear infections. What's the best to use for floppy ears? Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about red light therapy
Ear
for that.
infections. This is very interesting because this is happening to my mother-in-law dog. Actually, she has ear infections, and she's using the dog pad, but she holds it there, and it's reducing the scratching. I mean, they scratch the whole time, so
Okay.
it's good. Remember, I treat my cats with a multi-purpose pad for
Right.
skin irritation. That's a
Okay.
similar thing.
Right. And by the way, there's one of the pads we use. We can put it on our face to take out bags and
We're coming up with a special one for that pretty
yeah.
soon.
So that's coming for you ladies out there. You may want to use that one for the eyes. Big O, ask the doc, can it be used on a replacement hip?
Absolutely. There is no contraindications. And again, anything that you can think of that is related to inflammation, oxidative stress, and pain, you can use it.
Big O, I have a 91-year-old granddad. Would the red light help with blood flow to his feet?
Yes. Microcirculation. Not only that, I mean, we can talk more about this next week, but remember that we talked about the head.
Right.
So imagine light going through the head with this. I have a special helmet for that, but we measured with laser Doppler, showing increased microcirculation. We published those results and actually came up in a chapter of a book that was launched by Harvard University, Dr. Hambling, on microcirculation in your brain. So if it goes through your skull, through the skin, much easier.
Right. All right. Redrecover.com. Use our code Big O, get 10% off. Make sure. And if you want the hat, go to contact us, send them an email. And if you have any questions, use the contact us to ask them any other questions for any other one that you have. Juice F5 is asking, can one use it in the genital areas for increased production of testosterone?
There is, maybe she read the paper, or this person read the paper, but a publication just came out showing the benefits of red light therapy specifically for that.
So which wrap would we get for that area?
Right now we use the universal pad.
Okay. All right. So you want Juice F5, you want the universal pad, which is the one that actually we're using for the face too, right? That's the one that's the one I have, right?
Make sure it's not the same one though, or you can wash it.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Or wash your genitals before you use it too.
Yes.
That may be, what I'm saying. Can red light be used before a workout as well as after a workout? Yes, that's exactly it. It's actually suggested that you use the wrap before you work out and after you work out, because you start to get that blood flow going. You help in the process of the workout and then the recovery also on the back end. Doc, you're a hell of a lot smarter than I am. Explain it to him.
No, that's what we talked. Remember, we talked about this last
Yes.
episode. We talked about using pre and post workout. Getting it ready, and then afterwards for the recovery part of it. Whenever you work out, if you do it intense enough, you're gonna have micro tears, and then you need to recover. That's actually what makes your muscle growth. So.
All right. So Fugencio's asking, Orlando, I want to buy it for my mom who suffers from arthritis. How can I get the best deal if I want to buy different items, cover part of their bodies, like legs and elbows? Well, Fugencio, go onto the website, order it, and make sure you use our code Big O so you can get the 10% off.
Correct.
And that's how you're going to get a better deal, by using our code Big O.
And maybe even for larger orders, maybe just write to us, and then one of the team members is going to get back to you and maybe get you a special
the universal
deal.
pad, can it be used for feet as well? I would assume so, he says.
So we just coming up with a specific device that is going to be used for things like plantar fasciitis. That's a very common problem. But right now we are using the universal one for sure.
Okay. I need the hat too. I'm bald as hell. Now, William, let's be honest now, okay? Because that's how I am on this show always.
Yep.
It's not a guarantee that the red light will regenerate all your hair, okay? Now, if you have it dead for a long, long time already, there's a good chance it will not get revitalized.
Yes.
But if you've recently lost your hair, you're in the process of it, then it might save you, okay? Because like this part here has not grown. This is regrowing, but this was recently that I started losing it. This I lost years ago, and so my entradas, as we say in Spanish, are still there, and nothing's grown. Again, it's not a guarantee, but if you've recently lost it, you'll have a better chance of regenerating the hair growth. Doc, am I wrong? Am I right? What am
No,
I
you're
on?
correct 100%, because the cells have to be viable. If they're dead, totally dead, then that's going to be hard. It's not going to happen.
Right. So you can wear the hat and try, and you'll see if some get generated and but you have to have patience, and you have to keep doing it every day. It's going to take months, to really start seeing the
For
results.
hair specifically, yes, it takes a longer time, much longer.
Yeah, the pain stuff happens, pretty quickly, but the hair stuff, it takes a while. You have to be patient with it. Okay. Let's see what else. You have to bring more the doctor. Oh, he's here every month. I don't know if you know that, but he's here every single month. Let's see. Willie, all you got to do is go to the website, redrecover.com, from Colombia, order it, and they'll ship it to you, my friend. Okay. Let's see. Ed Marti, by the way, who is the man, it says Red Recover just received foot pads, have not had website updated with the foot pad photos yet, but you can send email to customer service email. We will work great for your grandparents' foot too.
Perfect.
So,
yes.
There you go. All right. Interesting. I can put the hat in my pants.
That's an interesting picture there.
Yeah. I thought we're trying to manscape in that area, not regenerate. That's the one area I don't mind going bald, by the way. Just want you to know that, okay? Maybe that's a little too much information.
Too much information, yes.
Yeah, but what I would love to lose there and gain it all here. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right, Doc, any closing comments you want to tell the folks out there about red light therapy?
I mean, focusing on the dogs, and today it's great. The reviews that we're getting, the people call us and they say, "Oh my gosh, this is really helping my dog." And I know, like, if everybody loves their pets as much as I love my cats over here, it's incredible, and it makes me very, very happy. Very happy.
No doubt about it. And Dr. Francisco Cedral joins us every month to educate you on the benefits of red light therapy. That's why we talk about redrecover.com so much. They're a big sponsor of our program. They are big believers of our platform, not just sponsors. Ed is a friend. Dr. Cedral is just absolutely fantastic and part of the family, and we love him. but they're also believers in what we're doing here also on the
100%.
platform, not
Yes.
just sponsors. So we appreciate them for that. And again, this is something that we all can benefit from. Go to redrecover.com, use our code BIG-O, get 10% off. Next month, Doc, we'll talk a little bit more about the head trauma, and we'll
Let's
go
talk
over
about the
that.
brain.
Because we all use it every day. And
Yes.
we deal with stress, and maybe it's not trauma, but it's stress
Yes.
and all the other things that we end up using our brain for. And they put a lot of it kind of backs up our computer a little bit there, and how red
Yes.
light therapy can clear that stuff up sometimes. Doc, thank you so much. Have a
Thank you.
fantastic week, my friend. Appreciate you.
You too. Goodbye.
You got it. That is Dr. Francisco Cedral. Again, go to redrecover.com and use our code BIG-O and get 10% off. All right. All right.
Red
all
Recover
right.
now offers a simple-to-use, professional-grade light therapy device designed to help your dog heal and live a healthier life. Red Recover emits red and infrared light therapy based on the same science that NASA developed, all in a soft, flexible housing pad powered by a convenient, rechargeable lithium-ion battery. Say yes to science and give your dog the care it deserves with Red Recover.
You're watching there on the chat board. You see Ed Marti. He is the president of redrecover.com, and he says foot pads is universal sized. We just have not had the chance to post the photos and videos yet. So if you want, just send email request foot pad. All right, there you go. Dan B says, thanks for the segment, Big O. So it's a good way to educate you guys on all of that, man. You know? It's a good way to educate you guys, and because it's just something that people don't know enough about, and until you actually use it for yourself, then you'll believe in it and you'll go, holy crap, oh yeah, great. You mean I don't have to take a drug? Because that's all they want to do is feed us drugs for everything. And here's red light therapy, which there are no drugs, no side effects, no nothing. All natural way to heal a human being or a beautiful animal that you care for. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's how we treat our dogs, whether it's my wife, whether it's my daughter, my mother-in-law, whoever's in the house. Our dogs are our kids, and we want to take care of them. We want to take care of ourselves, want to take care of our parents, want to take care of our kids. Red light therapy, man. Help you out in a big time way. What else do we have to talk about on the program? Oh, man. I don't think I've got too much left here on the program, to be quite honest. Little music history, by the way, on October 11th. I'll check here for some questions from you guys out here. If you have any questions, send them in, and we'll check it out. What else do we have on this day in music history? On October 11th in 97, Elton John had the #1 song in the country with this tribute to the late Princess Diana with Candle in the Wind, reworking a 74 hit about Marilyn Monroe. In 95, on this day, Peter Frampton released Frampton Comes Alive 2, the sequel to his 76 multi-platinum record, Frampton Comes Alive, which was just an amazing album. In 1990, on this day, Dave Grohl played his first gig with Nirvana when they played in the Olympia in Washington. In 1969, on this date, the #1 album in America was Creedence Clearwater Revival, Green River. And in 2006, on this date, Evanescence scoring the top album on the Billboard 200 with Open the Door, and the Killers taking the #2 spot with Sam's Town. Just saw the Killers over at the AAA, and that was a lot of fun, man. They were really, really good. So that's what happened today in music history. Big O, you got to turn one of the Dolphin players to use the TED Recover so they can, the Dolphin player instead of a Bengal player. What? You mean Rudd recover so they can? Oh, I see. Yeah, we definitely need it. The NFL is a disaster, but we can't stop watching it. Can't get enough of it. Yep, you're right about it. Now, this may end up hurting people and people not watching. If you start pissing people off with these injuries and fans start losing games and gamblers start losing bets and they can't trust the NFL, that's not a good thing. Okay? That's not a good thing. So, there you go. I'm just saying. Just saying. What else do we? Oh, did you guys see Ron Rivera? Holy shit. The Ron Rivera one is this is a I don't know, like it's bad for the coach to go out and say this, and there's a I just wonder if he's the guy that picked the quarterback. Or did somebody else want it, like the owner or something like that? So if you haven't heard Ron Rivera yet and was asked about what's going on with the team and the quarterback situation, and I just want you to listen to this exchange between Rivera and the reporter.
Following up on John's question about the Giants, they're up to a faster start. The Eagles, the Cowboys, they've kind of all been rebuilding too the last couple of years, and it seems like they're farther ahead. Why do you think the teams in the division are farther ahead at this point?
Quarterback.
Is that? I mean, with quarterback, like the Cowboys, for instance, they don't have Dak Prescott this season and still have been able to
Well, they
win.
started with
him,
Dak, and they build around Dak, and the offense is built around Dak. Their backup's a guy that is very solid inside of what they do. And the truth is that this is a quarterback-driven league. And if you look at the teams that have been able to sustain success, they've been able to build it around a specific quarterback.
Chose the quarterback here, though. So do you have any regrets about that, or how do you?
No, I got no regrets about their quarterback. I think our quarterback has done some good things. There's been a couple of games that he struggled. But you look at his numbers from yesterday, and you would say, okay, look at his numbers he's had throughout the year. There was a time he was, very solid. And then, we had the unfortunate Philadelphia game, and he struggled a little bit in the Dallas game. But the way he performed yesterday, it just shows you what he's capable of. And, we chose him because we believe him. We chose him because we looked at what we felt were things that pointed towards him.
All right. So Ron Rivera basically threw his quarterback under the bus. And he was asked, well, you picked him and you believe in him? But it doesn't sound like he believes in him. And listen, Carson Wentz is a guy that I don't think anybody believes in anymore. Everybody that has watched him over the years, I think we all know he has the talent. He doesn't lack any ability whatsoever. You just wonder if he lost his edge. And because he's such a religious dude, you just wonder if maybe it's not the priority it is for others. That's, I think, one of the problems with Jimmy Garoppolo. Football's not the end-all, be-all for him. And I know some of you are going, well, why should it be? No, it should be. That's the only way you will excel in that sport. Football has to be the end-all, be-all with you. It has to be what you eat, live, and breathe. It has to be a passion that a desire that you need to play the game, to win, all of those kind of things, because you're playing against people that think the same way, feel the same way, and they play with that kind of fire. I'm not exactly sure that Carson Wentz, and I think that's what Ron Rivera has finally seen, like anybody that ends up coaching that guy. I don't think this guy is really committed to being a football player, and those injuries may have taken that edge out of him. We talk about Edge energy drink here all the time, and we always also team it up with that word edge, because you've got to have an edge in almost anything you do in life. And to play quarterback in the NFL, you have to have an edge. And I don't believe he has that edge anymore. He had it early on, but I think the injuries have kind of taken a toll, where Andrew Luck also had that beaten out of him to a point where he was like, pain, injury, rehab, pain, injury, rehab. I can't take it anymore. I'm out of here. And so your heart wasn't going to be in it anymore. And I'm not exactly sure that Carson Wentz plays with the heart and determination that you need in order to succeed in football. That's why he has 10 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. He's completed 62.9% of his passes. He's got almost 1,400 yards in 5 games. They're decent numbers, but they're not great numbers. And he has the talent to be a difference maker, and yet he isn't a difference maker. And so to me, Terry McLaurin has 1 touchdown. Guy's averaging 17 yards a catch. He's a hell of a player, and he's got 1 touchdown on the season. So I just think that Rivera, he probably shouldn't be this brutally honest, but I wonder also, man, he's been through so much in Carolina, and then, with cancer and fighting that. And then now he's here and working for Snyder and company and taking that job. And you're already a couple of years in, and now you've got Carson Wentz, and you just wonder if this is just frustrations and everything building over for him. Really. It's crazy. But that is one wacky situation there. And I think it's just frustrations of a coach, a quarterback that just can't really get it done anymore, can't get over the hump, can't fix his mental whatever hurdle he has, because it ain't physical. But it's ugly. All right. Juice F5. Oh, have you heard of Autumn Falls, the actress? No, I have not. Never heard of her. Autumn Falls. Okay. Let's see. Autumn Falls, actress. Okay. I see why Autumn fell. Okay. Gotcha. All right. We got Autumn Falls. I got you. Okay. She's hot. She's a hottie. All right. Not bad. Okay. Appreciate the heads up on Autumn Falls. Let's see. Here you go. Let's share Autumn Falls. There you go. So now you know where Juice F5. Now you know why Juice F5 needs the pad for the testosterone. Okay? Juice needs to really work that testosterone, because he keeps looking at Autumn Falls pictures. And she's a smoke show. I don't blame you. Okay? Autumn Falls. Big O, what a surprise. The NFC East was so good this season. It's crazy how the Raiders were so hyped and not doing it. Well, that's why I never play the schedule game, because you don't know what's going to be what. And you can't, there's going to be a win, that's going to be a win. This team's going to suck, that team's going to be good. You don't know that. You don't know that. All right, we got to thank, let's see, Joe Shad and Dr. Francisco Cedral for joining us. As always, we thank all of you that tuned in, sent in a super chat or a Cash App or Venmo. Remember, you can always make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We thank, of course, Sean Stanley, who masters this program every single day. We will see you tomorrow morning at 8:45. Remember, we're back tonight at 7 o'clock for our state of Florida Gridiron Roundtable with Manny Navarro, with Ira Schofel from War Chant, and Kevin Brockway, who covers the Gators. So we'll have Canes, Gators, and Seminoles talk. And then tonight, 8 to 9, it'll be Mike McCoy and the Miami Hurricanes Watch. There you go. We're out of here. We'll see you later on this evening or tomorrow here on the platform. Please hit that like button, smash the notification bell. Please subscribe. Please visit our amazing sponsors like Edge Energy Drink. Get 10% off. Use our code Big O. Get the finest energy drink on the planet, delicious, smooth, and zero aftertaste. MyEdgeDrink.com. We'll see you later on this evening. Have a good one.